Welcome, everybody, to a first episode. Another episode of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, but on a whole new campaign. This is 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons called Fate of Simarin, and it's a homebrew campaign made by HellFirePvP, our Dungeon Master Extraordinaire. And we will do some brief introductions of who we are and the characters we intend on playing for the campaign. Mostly just like a race and things like that. And then we'll leave it to the Dungeon Master himself to take things from there as he would see fit. So, I'll start with myself. I'm Vallen. I will be playing as Celes, a half-orc eldritch knight, aka fighter. So, and yeah, there we go. And we'll continue on down the line and move to Kashcah.
Oh my gosh, I'm not DM. So I'm Kashcah. I'm playing Giya, who is a turtle barbarian. I'm so excited to play a turtle barbarian. Okay, I'll stop.
And then continuing on down, we have Lyssa.
Oh yeah, that's me. Who actually has a camera this time? Let's see. Gotta find my.
And there was much rejoicing.
Alright. I am playing Sarren, who is a Furrowbog druid. And I don't know. I'm probably gonna heal a lot, changing a few things, maybe steal things from people's pockets. I don't know. But I'm on a quest to find I have a picture of some chick that I'm trying to find because her dude died in my forest. So
perfect. And then continuing on down there, we have at the end Nerevar.
That's me, and in this campaign I'll be sticking for more official roles of the campaign of the five editions. So I'll be playing as a goblin bard by the name of Quilby, who got recently lost his job at the Royal Palace as entertainer.
I love it. Okay, so then we take you to HellFirePvP, who will proceed to, Dungeon Master.
Yeah, I'm HellFirePvP, and I'm playing as basically everything else that's happening. And Celes and Giya, you two make your way over from coast to the port city of Menara, as you're tasked to find someone who's apparently gone missing from a society they call the Guide Society, previously responsible for a lot of travel in this world, namely teleportation. And they were responsible for teleporting people and goods around the world, as teleporting is something that is not widely accessible by a lot of people. So them going missing, and now this situation going on for a bit longer, the world has kind of reacted to their absence, in that most of the trade has now rerouted back to a bit of a more old-fashioned way rather than instant teleportation. And this has resulted in a lot of, shady businesses being resurrecting in the landscape. And so the focus is on trying to find whoever's still here or might be still here. So you're on your way to probably find one of those people and maybe look over the port situation in town as well. So let's just switch over here, and I hope this works.
Ooh.
So you will come from, Celes and Giya, you will be entering the town from the left side. I might actually want to note that I drew this map a long time ago, and the actual port city is now thematically a bit bigger than I drew it here. So don't take the houses at face value.
Okay.
Okay.
Each house represents an entire block. Got it.
So yeah, you are approaching the city walls to the left. What do you want to do?
Oh, we're approaching
Well-
from the left?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're seeing like these big towering walls around, and occasionally one guard peeking over the edge. And yeah, you are approaching the city perimeter, and there's 2 guards coming to greet you.
Do we
And,
know if we're like, do we expect trouble entering the city?
You don't expect trouble, Celes. You know, like you're on mission by the hand,
Mm-hmm.
and since this town is basically secured, or the hand acts as guards in the town, you don't really expect any problems entering. So yeah, the 2 guards approach. Hey, you there? What's your business here?
Sorry. I'm Celes of the Order of the Knights of Catel, and I've been hired by the hand to prove an investigation in your local grounds.
All right.
This is Giya. She's
I'm with him.
yes, her.
Okay. Sure.
Sorry.
Of course. You may enter town. You will find relatively close by the office of the silver hand, of the hand in this town. You should talk to Philly, Phely, and she can probably give you further instructions there.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And the 2 guards kind of like guide you in, basically, and yeah.
I take it at
You
this
may
point
know
it's
what you're
currently just Giya and myself, Celes, traveling to this town. We do not
Right.
have the other 2 as of yet.
Right.
Okay.
And as you enter town, there's not too many people going around. Usually you see like a couple people now coming up and probably looking like they will leave the town in the direction you just came from. And you notice it's probably over the human population here. And looking at the houses, they're mostly stone made, which with the occasional wooden roof and tiling. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I suppose we just try and make our way. He said it was that there's a house of the hand.
Right, there is a main office in the Silver Road district.
Okay. I guess I'd ask for a little bit more of a general direction from the guards as we go through, but then try and proceed towards that as just a main check-in at this point.
Of course. So yeah, as you enter in, they basically just as you ask, they basically just point you down the road and then up here in this general direction.
Okay.
And yeah, you're going a bit through town, and there's a lot of people going about their business. You notice there's here, at least, there are more well-dressed people, so you see a lot of people with robes, and yeah, the feet are not accurate there.
No. I'm ignoring that.
It's a snail city.
No, it's not.
It's snail side.
You're gonna get us both killed. Stop now.
Cards are gonna turn really quick.
You're one of those snail betrayers.
So yeah, as you make your way through town, you notice there's a lot more like well-dressed people here who are usually busy looking up stuff or ushering through the roads, trying to get somewhere, seemingly. And yeah. So you travel a bit, and you can see basically a larger building coming up. There is a broader front side to it, and as you can look in, as you kind of like approach and kind of look through the windows, you can see a large desk in the front and a symbol of the hand, basically a hand clutching a sword with a small ring around it on the side of the wall on the inside. So you figure kind of like, yeah, that's probably where you're supposed to go.
Is that actually the symbol of the hand?
Oh yeah, I guess I've never shown you that.
Okay.
It's like, I will probably post one later. It's basically a symbol of the backside of a hand clutching a sword in the middle of the blade, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's more like basically circle around it. So yeah.
Okay. Proceed there. I mean, if that's on the building itself, then I would assume that that's probably the building we're looking for.
So yeah.
Like, what's the mood like in the city? Is people just kind of going about their regular business? Anything that, like, people seem
well,
friendly, happy, they miserable? They...
The mood is fairly like, you don't catch really any bad mood, so to speak. It just seems like a lot of people are pretty busy working on something or trying to note down stuff. You don't really see anyone sitting around. You just see them either ushering through the city or yeah.
So no loitering. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So I guess you enter.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So as you enter, you
Oh, so I would ask, before we go in, I ask Celes, should I stay outside?
No. Stay close to me. It's probably safer that way.
Okay.
And then proceeds in.
All right. So as you enter the building, you can see a long carpet before you, basically just covering the front half of this large entry room. To the left, you can see a map of Benares, like basically the one you see right now. And a couple dots marked on there. And to the right, you just see a larger painting of the general like ocean view and a dock in front of it. And to the right side, you see a female human with like long curly black hair sitting behind a desk and just writing down notes in a book, taking out another book, looking stuff up, just going through it, and generally like looking like she's trying to note down something or trying to, well, organize stuff.
So the inside, does it have like a taverny feel? Does it have more like a business feel?
It's definitely more a business feel.
Okay.
And there is a second desk with a empty chair on the opposite side of the room.
Okay.
And there's currently no one besides this one woman in the front area.
Okay.
You can see a door to the right, to the back of the room, and yeah, the symbol somewhat to the left of it.
Okay. So I just kind of walk close to where this woman is and just kind of see if I can gently get her attention without interrupting, type thing. And if it does work, like she pauses for a moment to look up, then I would, introduce myself and my friend, and
Yeah, as you approach, he's like just writing stuff, and suddenly like, oh yes, hello, what can I do for you? Why are
and
and just like has to take in these large creature basically standing behind you, and it's like, yes, what is your business?
she says, "I am Celes of the Order of the Knights of Catel, and I have business with the
right.
hand."
And she just interrupts you and is like
Okay.
trying to put two books away, and pulls out a sheet of paper, and it's like, right, Celes, you were supposed to arrive yesterday, actually. As far as I've heard, you are here to invest. No, look upon the docks. Is that right?
You asking me?
That doesn't sound right, Giya says.
Oh, so what's your business?
Actually, hold on a second. Let me look because I took notes on there.
I thought we were supposed to be looking for someone.
Yes, we're here to mount an investigation for a missing person.
All right. Do you like know anything about the person you're looking for? And she just like, she's not really sure what you're talking about, and just like goes through stuff and just puts the paper away and just picks one book from the side and just opens it and just fumbles through it, and
Okay.
apparently trying to find something on you, or
She said, "Well, we're here on a matter of twofold. The first being inspecting the ports, quite
Okay.
possibly like you're suggesting, but the other being that we're also looking for a member of the Guide Society that had disappeared."
And like so yeah, as you mentioned that you're looking after the ports, or designated to look after the ports, she's just like nodding and basically closing the book again. And then as you mentioned that, she goes, oh, the Guide Society, you say? Yeah, the furnace has indeed gone missing a while ago. We do not really know his whereabouts. And she just like thinks for a moment and turns to the side and shouts, "Aaron, get over here!" And it takes a while, and suddenly from behind her, from the door, a young elven male comes out and is like, "Yes, yes, you've called." And Vita goes, Furnace disappeared a while ago. You've been investigating this, right? And he goes, right. So shortly after he disappeared, we investigated his home and didn't find too many things. Oh, it's actually, sorry if I wasn't clear on that.
Okay.
But we didn't find too many things in his home, so we left it at this. And she goes, did you report this? And he goes like, yes, of course we did. And she just like picks up a book from the side and just goes through the first few pages and just reads through it. For a second, it's like, all right, and then turns towards you again, Celes. Says, it seems we have investigated this disappearance, though you standing in front of me seems like they weren't exactly pleased with the report. All right.
That
So
doesn't sound like a very thorough investigation, Giya says.
well, it might be. It wasn't on my behalf. Or neither was it my responsibility, so to speak. All right. So we, as with all missing cases, we keep an eye on their keys and access to their homes and belongings. So, as you may want to investigate this person, and she holds one hand out. Erin, would you bring me the keys, please? And Erin disappears into the back room or the back side of the building. And it takes a while.
What race
Potential.
is Feely?
She is human.
Okay. And had she actually introduced her name as well, or are we still, she just knows our names, and we just assumed that she was Feely?
Philly at all.
You can-
Somebody entirely different.
Because if she hasn't
you-
introduced herself yet at this point, while waiting,
You knew from the guard at the city entrance
Okay,
who directed you here.
gotcha.
So yeah, it takes a while, probably a bit of uncomfortable while. And eventually Erin returns and hands her 2 keys. One a bit of a larger one, and a second one a bit smaller but longer.
Mhm.
And goes, these are the 2 keys we have on Furnace. And
This is to his
Felix.
house, Gears?
And Felix goes, we have 2 keys, and and Erin responds, well, we have the 1 key to his house and one for the warehouse where he supposedly stashed some of his things. We did search both though.
I put my big turtle hand out for the keys.
And Felix grabs the keys from Erin and just like hesitates for a second, and then hands you the keys.
Fixed my eyes on Feely, giving her a turtle stare.
One eyelid closes and then the other.
All right. And yeah, she hands you the keys. And right. And
is there anyone else that might have further information or that was in charge of this investigation that you're aware of?
Well, ultimately, and she again holds her hand out, Erin was responsible for investigating this case. And as far as I know, he had a couple people from the hand with him. And yeah, that is pretty much the most thing I know about this. And yeah, she goes, so you have a place to stay in town, or should the hand organize things for you?
We have not as of yet. We knew of our tardiness and decided to come here as our first point of affairs.
All right, sure. And again, she picks one book from the side and fumbles through. And okay, so for this part, we will, since your stay here won't be too long, for now we will designate you to the Broken Thorn, a small inn down near the docks, fittingly, I suppose.
Okay.
And yeah, you are to stay there for now. And she just makes a few notes in the book, and then closes it, sets it to the side. So yeah, any further questions?
So, out of game, would we... is it expected that the hand kind of arranges for our accommodation and like food and lodging kind of thing, or that's something we have to cover?
The hand occasionally does this,
Okay.
and it is usually for shorter contracts that are just like, yeah, you get there, do some stuff, and basically get out there or bring home results or whatever. And for longer stays, the hand usually just tries to basically get them somewhere, get its members somewhere, and yeah.
Okay.
But as for this, it is you weren't really given a time frame. It was just a couple days, so to speak, and so it's seemingly this information is most that Feely has as well.
Okay. I guess probably want to speak with Aaron. So Celes would probably say, would we be able to have a little bit of time with your assistant to ask a few questions about their investigation before we begin?
Oh yeah, sure. And she just waves Aaron towards you from the side. And if you mind me, and she just picks a book from the side, I will go about my business again.
Thank you for your time and patience.
No worries. And she just smiles and just, still looking at you, just already opens the next book and starts going through.
Right. And Celes does like this little, like proper, like a sharp head bow thing, and then proceeds to like do almost like a military turn, and then like kind of motions for Aaron to come over, perhaps over by the other desk or just another spot that is less intrusive to her.
All right. But as you like said your goodbyes, she basically just stopped paying attention to you.
Right. I just don't want to stand like in her office space and start talking to Aaron right there. So I'm assuming Aaron comes over, in which case Celes would look over to Giya and say, well, what do you think? Where should we start? Aaron, what kind of information can you share with us that you've already done?
And at this moment, a second. Right. At this moment, you see from the corner of your eye, approaching from the street, a large figure who is seemingly making its way also into here. And upon closer inspection, you see a little bit of fur, and assume, and as she like ducks a bit and gets into the room, you might have assumed it is a furbog. And Sarren, you have been told by the guards that you will probably find information on your person from a officer of the hand named Feely here. So yeah.
So Aaron is hanging about like for providing
just
information,
staring at you, staring at him.
Right, it's just
like he's just generally intimidated by suddenly having already a large creature in here and someone seemingly like being their partner, I guess. And now another pretty large figure entering the room. It seems like he's not really used to being around too many people, or especially not those particularly larger than him.
Celes kind of does like a little bit of a sidestep, seeing the furbog coming in, so that she can pass. Obviously, they're not there for her. Or Giya.
I'll walk in, just kind of, head down, kind of looking around. My eyes darting back and forth, and I kind of hold up a little bit of a parchment that I have. I'm looking for Philly. I just kind of hold out this parchment.
And she just like closes the book and is like, "Yes, you're looking for me."
Yeah, the guard. I just kind of look around. The guard told me I could find you. I need help finding.
All right, and another missing person, and he just opens another book again. It's like,
well, I'm not exactly sure they're missing.
And who might you be looking for?
Dude, you see, the thing is, I'm not quite sure. It's a long story, but I was told to actually, I'm looking. Do you know anybody by the name of Alice?
Alice. And she just like taps the side of your head and like, Alice. And she just shouts over to Erin. Erin, do you know someone named Alice? And he just like turns to the side and it's like, that was the wasn't that the person assisting Furnace? And he's like, right, and just opens the side of a book and seemingly tracing something with her finger and tapping down. Right. That was the person here with Furnace. So, and she just then points over to the torso and Celes. These might be people that you want to accompany. Then
I just look over, like slowly, and I see this, I guess, a giant turtle. I'm like, oh, okay. I just nod my head. I walk over and I'm like, could you help me?
Celes stops the investigation with Aaron that barely began. Actually, it was more like just like Aaron is just like still staring. Celes is like, it's not polite to stare. Perhaps we can. What? How can I help? I'm Celes, the Knights of Catel, and this is Giya. We're companions here. What is it that you need?
I just look. I'm just like, not really like staring, like in shock of the turtle there. I'm just like admiring it per se. I mean, I'm just like, the colors. Look at your shell. It's so pretty. Sorry. I need help finding somebody, and I pull out a photo of a just a female. It's more like a female elf, and I'm like, I'm looking for this woman. And I pull out a piece of cloth, and it's yellow, and it has a symbol on. I'm sorry, it's blue, and it's got some symbols on it, and I'm kind of like just fiddling with it because I'm nervous. Just like, I just need to find whoever this cloth belongs to, and I think it's this person. I don't know who to find. I'm just kind of like nervous because there's just so many like strange beings around me that I've never seen before or not used to being around.
Celes would extend her hand and say, "May I see that?" And she's reaching for the photo that you had.
And I'll hand it to you.
And she takes a look at it, holds it up. Does Celes recognize the character?
you do not recognize the character.
She says, "I can't say that I'm aware of this person. How about you, Giya?" And she holds it over to Giya.
And at this point, also, Aaron's just like peeking over a bit.
I don't know, Giya says. I don't think so.
And Aaron's like, but it's just like trying to make, they're just trying to basically stand on its toes and just like trying to get a look. It's like,
Celes would actually like kind of lower it down for Aaron, seeing as how he's taken it.
I actually sit down. I just sit down on the floor.
Your height actually goes down by like just 1 inch.
Whatever.
Kidding.
Then it's like, yes, that was the assistant often being together with Furnace. I don't know if they like lived together or she was just accompanying him. But yeah, they probably she was probably his assistant. and he just like stammers, and he just like stutters, because he's not really too sure. Like he's like, you get the gist that he's seen them together, though he doesn't really know about the second person.
Okay.
Maybe
Celes.
they were more than just friends, Giya says.
Celes says, "Who is this furnace person?"
That's who we're looking
yes.
for.
Oh, that was the name. Sorry, I got that. Because she was talking to Aaron, and I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. So sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, I'll just ask. Well, that's. I was told to find Alice, and that they would know who this person was, and where to find them. And so now we need to find whoever this furnace person. So many people.
Lots of people.
Mm-hmm. Lots of names.
Already lots of names.
Mhm.
God.
And
Then it sounds like we should be working together, Giya says.
Why everyone have to have this fancy names?
speaking of names, Celes says, "Might I have your name?" Speaking to Sarren.
Sorry, I kind of zoned out there. I just nod my head, and I kind of duck a little bit. Oh yes, my name is Sarren. I'm from definitely not from this area. I'm not used to such things. There's so many things, like a lot of stuff.
Says
Giya
what?
says, I know what you mean.
Darren is like, right. So you will find a furnace house up in the noble districts in High Bridge, and yeah, his warehouse will probably be down where most of the warehouses are, near the docks. So yeah, what business do you have with me besides that?
Well, what else did you find out? What did you have any information that you discovered?
Well, we didn't really find too many things. His house was seemingly abandoned from one day to the next, and his warehouse didn't really have a lot of things besides a couple books. So, well, we weren't really able to gather much more information other than, I guess, that he's gone. So yeah, and he's like just nervously looking around, trying to like, well, I hope I didn't mess up, or
So
Did you question any of his business colleagues or any friends or family?
well, Furnace wasn't too long in town. He just arrived about a couple of weeks prior to his disappearance. So we have no real records here about his behaviors in town, or who he traded with per se. We were aware that he wanted to open up a shop in Silver Road, and just like actually pretty close to here, and he's just like trying to look out the window a bit, and he was apparently sent here to set up a teleportation circle, and he just like is not sure if he said the right thing.
which I'm aware that teleportation is not currently working, right?
Yeah, you are aware that there is probably at the moment not too many members of the Gaia Society around, and most of them are missing, and a couple of cases were confirmed dead.
Okay, so the people that maintain the teleportation network are the ones that seem to be going missing.
Seemingly.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay.
So you didn't talk to anyone, Giya says.
Well, there weren't too many he was in contact with. We've known from two of his neighbors that he was often seen going down into the docks, but that might have also just been him going to his belongings. So unfortunately, we didn't really track him all that well, and he just like gets more nervous being surrounded by large people and like not having too many informations on what you actually might want to know. So
So Celes says, who was it that reported him missing? Last person to known to have seen him. Do you have any?
And he did you want to say anything else or
No, go ahead.
oh, okay. And he just like lowers his head and just thinks for a moment. And he just stutters a bit and it's like, well, we don't really know. Probably his the people nearby. And he just looks across the road and like he's just leans a bit to the side and looks across the road and is like, well,
Can I have a
maybe...
look? Like, what's he looking at? Giya's gonna kind of stand back up again and turn and look out the window to see, like, if he's looking at something specific or.
It seems like he's looking at something specific. You can see somewhat diagonally across the road. You can see the facade of a house, and there's like one large window to it. And in front of the house, it seems to be that the road was partially like rearranged, and the usual cobblestone going through the city has been like in places somewhat placed to resemble a circle. So you kind of figure based on what he said before, like setting up some sort of circle, that this might have been the place where he was potentially trying to set this up. But
The teleportation circle?
Seemingly.
It's actually visible just like out in the open?
Well,
like
it
the
is
spot where it was gonna be.
Right.
Potentially a spot where it's gonna be.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like, if you also like turn around and look, obviously, it doesn't seem like anything was finished. It just seems like the cobblestones in the road were arranged in a funny pattern.
Okay.
And so yeah, he just looks over and he's like, well, anyone, well, maybe the people around here might know. And she just quickly looks over to Feely, who's just digging through stuff. And it's like, but well, we didn't really see him a lot here either. We made sure that like his things might are being prepared correctly, though didn't really seem like a lot ended up happening here.
I point at the building. So that was going to be his shop?
Yeah, that is where he would have been staying through most of his working hours, I suppose.
Do you have a key for that, or can we have a look?
And he says like, yeah, we do have a key for this, though he never really used it. He only was here for inspection twice, so yeah, I don't think too much is gonna be here. But I can give you the key, of course.
Yes, please.
Okay, and he just like backs up a bit and then turns to kind of like hastily run to the back door.
So you've got a key for the building that he was planning
got a
on.
key for his house. I got a key for his warehouse.
So his house, his warehouse, and his shop?
Don't have the shop yet. but
Okay.
maybe I'm about to
Okay.
have that.
And so it takes a couple seconds, and he returns and approaches and hands you another key, and says, "Well, that building will we will need those keys back fairly soon. So
Is someone else moving in?
we are currently in the process of trying to move someone else in. Yes." And
Who's moving in?
he says,
Who's moving in?
we have a contract with a dwarf we're in who will be moving in here. And yeah. And he just like confirmingly nods.
Mhm.
Okay.
So Celes basically asks for details about the residence, the warehouse, what they look like, and how we'd be able to identify them. And
And he says, well, the warehouse, I've actually not been there. Well,
You
like
didn't even go to
he-
the warehouse for a missing
Well,
person known
he
to
didn't.
visit
Well,
a warehouse.
he didn't go there. He has his the guards that were with him inspecting the stuff went there. Well, he went through the house.
Okay.
And so but fortunately most of the warehouses are
So
pretty close to each other in the docks, so you might
the people
find it
that
there.
helped you with your investigation, they were from the Hand as well. They were hired by
Right.
the Hand.
Right.
So the Hand has hired 2 sets of people then?
Well, yes, we used 2 of the 3 of the guards in town to help us here with this case.
Okay. Okay.
So in essence, it was him, another guard investigating the house, like out of character now.
Okay.
It was him and another guard investigating the house while they delegated the other 2 guards down to the docks to find and inspect the warehouse.
Okay.
And yeah, they basically collected their findings afterwards and assembled a report, or Erin assembled a report.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I guess we clue in Sarren a little bit and say, you know, we were called in by the Hand to investigate the docks as well as, or check in on the docks as well as try and find a missing persons from the guides. And
Just to say that he asks like, but we have already done this.
You found them then? You found Furnace? No, didn't think so. He's getting a bit grumpy. Like,
and Celes says, and apparently this person has some tie-in with your missing person as well, or found person, perhaps.
so, what? How did you end up here, Sarren?
I was sitting here by an elder of a village that I came across. I was told not to go forth into the elven area because I think that's where the guy it's a long story. I don't know how to start, but basically this banner, and I hold the banner up, and it's a blue banner. It's got a blue-black background with yellow chevrons on it, and it stands out from all my scarves. I'm covered in scarves, like they're wrapped in my hair and mainly around my. And they're all like nice neutral tones, earthy. And then I hold this blue one up. Said this man came into our village, and he was injured, and we tried to save him, but no luck. No, there was nothing identifying him or anything. And then I hold the picture of the woman up, and this is the only thing that was on him. So my tribe decided, not only is this a threat to our area because we don't ever have anybody come in, except for other furrow. So we need to find out what the threat is before it reaches us and destroys my people. I was sent to find this person and also see if we can find the identity of this little man. He was like this big. I just hold my fingers up, just kind of exactly. Like,
I see.
and you know, he looked like an elf, but everybody knows you shouldn't go into the elf land alone, unguided. And I was told to go around, come in here and find this person, and then look for Alice, who should know. And now I'm being told to look for Furnace, which, from what I'm gathering, I don't know if the little dead man knows, but she might be not with him. Maybe there's, who knows? But I just wanted to find who she is and who this guy is, and also if there's a threat to my people, because we need to prepare our move.
All right. Brief question, not in roleplay. Who's Alice again? I'm sorry.
Well, Alice is the person, or now the associated name to the person that Sarren has the like little cloth picture of.
Okay, the little man.
No.
A female.
It's a female.
Okay.
And from what you've gathered from Erin and Feely, she was in contact with Furnace in town, or she was seen together with him.
Okay. Okay, so alas, I don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry.
Well, I've gone with Alice.
Alice, okay. She is associated with Sarren's little man and associated with Furnace
Yeah.
in some way, or at least known to be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Sorry, just making sure I get it straight before I get things really mixed up in my mind.
Alice is the middle man or woman.
Okay. All right.
Or creature. Who knows?
Well, Celes says, "Thank you, Aaron. You've been," and she was about to say most, but she just goes, "helpful." She kind of stops herself a little bit, and then just kind of turns away from him quickly.
How rude!
And speaks to the other two to say, "So where shall we go first? Do you want to just go across the street, High Bridge, or the docks?"
As you kind of turn away and start talking, he's just like nodding to himself and just nodding, and eventually turns and just leaves and gives a quick glance to Feely, who doesn't really respond, and disappears into the backside.
Bye.
I just shrug my shoulder. I know nothing of these lands here. You know, this far down. This is the first time I've ever ventured outside of our woods.
Well,
So many things.
perhaps we stop.
Most of them are useless, Giya says.
I just nod my head. I see that. And they hired a second team to find out what the first team couldn't figure out.
Celes just gives a sigh and says,
forks. What the hell?
"Why don't we just start with the closest one, shall we?" Giya, you have the key. Why don't you lead the way?
Yeah, they want the key back as well, so let's do the shop first.
Right. As soon as they're outside,
normal movement speed. I just have these big tree trunk legs, so she can like.
My key. That's my whole movement in action here.
So upon stepping outside, Celes actually pulls from, I believe it's just referred to in the book as like an interdimensional pocket, but has her familiar pop out, which is a snowy owl, and it just comes up onto her shoulder as if out of it almost, and she says, "Luna, I need you to remember this place. We'll probably need to return some keys to the people inside. Specifically either that man or that woman there." And
Giya looks at Celes and says, "We're just going across the road.
This is for when we're done with the warehouse and the High Bridge area. Just save us a bit of time."
Giya just like saunters across the road.
All right, follows.
And I will use the key to open the. I'm assuming there's like a front door on the shop.
Like you can see, like as you approach the house, you clearly like see front. It's just a door, and to the side of it is a rather large window, giving also a view into the inside.
Okay. And in front of that, in like on the pavement of the street, is this like fancy pants, round, decorative doodad.
It
that
is
was
a
being
bit.
built.
It's a bit away from the building, and it's rather large. Like if you have to map it out, it's probably like 15 by 15 feet.
Okay.
Big enough to bring a carriage.
And it's like
no.
it's partially built, or
Well, if you want to take a closer inspection of it.
yeah, I do.
So yeah, so you like look across it and trace a bit around it. You can clearly see like the cobblestones have basically been like around it were torn out from the street, and some of them were cut off and rearranged to kind of like give this impression of a circle. And so you like kind of like go around and try to trace the entire thing around. You notice it like was kind of done. So like 2/3 of the road to one side were basically almost prepared or prepared in this circle-ish shape, and the other third was basically like in places a bit worked on, or you can like see a difference from the rest of the road that there might have been work. But the circle just stops.
Okay.
So it seems unfinished. Or yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Proceed on to the front door for now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And unlock it, and just kind of duck my head down and go in.
Would Celes have seen a transportation circle before?
Yes, you have seen those, and they usually are a bit more well prepared.
Okay.
They usually have like a flat surface that just like not basically a cobblestone surface like this, but usually are like well made, like flat, and there's then like a little couple of weird carvings in it, and so you've definitely come across a few.
Okay. Celes would mention in passing the circle, catching up to Giya, saying, "It would appear either it's not of the best craftsmanship or it's in its extremely early stages of being crafted. This teleportation circle that they have here. That's it."
Okay. Gear kind of shrugs.
Okay, so I guess you enter the building.
Mm-hmm.
Kick down the door.
I just walk in and I look. I'm like, whoa, what is that?
So you enter the building. There is currently no light in here. So the only like real light comes in from the window, though it's enough to illuminate the room, basically in its entirety. And as you enter, you like duck a bit, and the floor is completely wooden. So it's just wooden floor. You can see on the left corner to the side a table, a pretty simple, basic table. There is 3 chairs, wooden chairs around it, and to the end of the table, somewhere in the back middle of the room, there is like a small crate or kind of like chest-ish thing. But actually, that's all that's in the room as far as you can see.
I'm gonna go over to the crate / chest-ish thing and have a look at that more closely.
Sure. You walk over, and yeah, it is a basically wooden, a bit of a lengthy wooden box. Yeah, and it's currently closed.
Open it.
You open the box,
Out.
and it's empty.
Not much to see here. Giya says.
Celes does a once-over around the room, see if everything checks out. Like, it doesn't look like there's supposed to be an extra extension over on this side, and for some reason there's a wall instead, or something like that.
As far as you've seen the shape of the building outside and compare it to like what it would like the space that would be filled on the inside, yeah, it looks like that is the first floor of this like kind of like 2-story building.
Okay.
Can I like go upstairs, like sneak up, kind of slowly, quietly walk up?
Actually, there are no stairs.
Interesting.
Are there any other exits?
Nope.
Okay.
There's the front side, there's like the front larger window, and then there is 2 windows to the right side.
Was there?
Can I walk outside and look around, like confused?
So you're making a round trip around the building? All right. You walk around the building, and on the back side you can see stone stairs leading up onto a seemingly second floor and an entrance, as well as a window. Like from the back side, a window to the left of it.
I'll kind of walk around and kind of, there's some stairs back here if you are looking for them. And I guess I'll start going up the stairs.
While she would walk out, I would just inspect the box to see if there's any kind of locking mechanism on it, or if it had been locked or pried open forcefully or anything like that.
I didn't break it.
Make an investigation check.
Oh my gosh!
The first roll.
The first roll.
Natural one.
Boom.
Hey now.
Oh no.
Hey.
Oh damn. It has not been tampered with, that as far as you can see.
Okay. Does it look like it could have been locked, or is it just a regular box that opens and closes?
You notice like it could have been locked.
Okay.
As you can see, like there's a little bit of metal reinforcement to it in places. And on the front side of it, there is like a little bit of like a metal like inset there, and an open lock attached, like just dangling on it.
Okay. And there's no like hidden parts to this as well, is there?
Give me a general just perception check.
Okay. Natural.
There is.
What was the question again?
Oh, I was asking if there was any hidden compartments in it, that's all.
No.
Okay.
But that roll, you wouldn't like.
Yeah.
No, you don't see
Okay.
anything.
So then Celes would say, perhaps our new friend has found something of more importance. Shall we join her?
So while you're checking out the box, that's exactly what Giya is doing. She kind of saunters out to the shop and is kind of, big tree trunk likes walking around the building to find these stairs that Sarren told her about.
Well, obviously Celes is talking to Luna then.
Since I'm up the stairs, I'm gonna see if the door is unlocked. Probably not, since the other one had a key.
Well, you're like trying to open the door, and it seems locked. Yeah.
I just kind of sit on the stairs and I look around at all the houses. I'm just overwhelmed by everything because I've never been out of my forest. So I'm just like, I'm trying to fit in. So I'm just like waiting.
A forest of houses.
Yes, a forest of houses. Things I've never seen or have seen in.
Lo and behold, a turtle appears.
Yep.
Right.
Eventually I'll get there. And...
I guess when I see Giya, I'm like, oh, this door. Do you still have that key? I think it might fit.
Yep, big turtle hand reaches out and gives you the key.
All right, I'll take the key and try it.
At this point, you can like see the passing people on the street because you're like not really like you're not hidden. This building is on a corner. On a passing street, you can see like the people occasionally giving you a glance over, and are like going a bit slower, and then going on with what they're doing.
I will.
I just look at Giya. I'm like, have they not ever seen people? I mean, us before?
Giya doesn't really reply, but she's just kind of like, when people are looking at them, she's just fixedly kind of staring at them. Like, she just kind of like peers into their soul.
The body holds still, but the long turtleneck goes.
I just kind of duck down again, kind of
Sure,
timid,
like,
and I'm just like, okay, let me just unlock the.
I say,
sure, like,
don't worry.
the people
about
that you
them.
stare down are just gonna be like, which you're just afraid and just like turn their head and just go on walking and just with a little bit of a faster pace.
Is it like predominantly human or?
Yeah, it is predominantly human.
I just kind of turn to Sarren and say, humans are weird.
Just nod my head and just continue to unlock the door.
The door does not unlock with the key.
I just look, I hand it back. I'm like, this doesn't work.
Celes arrives.
How many
What?
people are on the stairs?
Well, she's at the bottom of the stairs. She goes, "What have you found?" Wow, snoozes.
Oh yeah, pug snores. That's what we found. I'm gonna pass the house key and the warehouse key to Sarren and say maybe one of these.
Okay, I'll take them and still looking around. The people that are staring. It's making me very nervous. So I'm like a little shaky. So I try each of the keys.
Yep, none of them fit.
I
I
turn to
just shake my
Celes
head.
and say, "This door doesn't. We don't have the key for this door."
Well,
I just push the door, like I'm, I just push it like.
Celes says, "It's very likely that this could be another home on top of a home."
Well, that's a shop, so.
Says, "Well, we can go and ask if they're, if this is actually in relation to that."
Can I? You said there was a window into
Yep.
this sec. Can I kind of lean and peer in the window, or I don't know where
Yeah,
it is.
you get up and just like the window is not very far, and just lean and look into the window. Give me a perception check.
Oh god.
Do turtles have dark vision?
4.
Well, not a really great vision apparently. Well, you look into the room and see through its interior that there is another window to the well, if you're standing in front of it, to the right side of it, like you're just basically looking through to the outside of there. And what little you can see, it is just a table, and it's nicely set. Like there's plates and cups on there, and yeah, and you can like see the edge of a shelf, and
So does
yeah.
does it look like a residence, like Celes is insinuating that it's somebody's flat above a shop kind of thing?
I mean, I would like to give you an answer with a bit higher perception. So you're not sure. It might be, but
Okay.
it could also belong to the shop and just be like some place where they are storing stuff or like keeping things, I guess.
Celes, can you open this? I don't know what this is.
Says, "Do those windows open?" That would be one way of entry. Otherwise, I'll be back in a moment. Let me go see.
I kind of ball up my hand into
No,
a
no,
fist.
no. The traditional method of lifting or slightly pushing without breaking. allow me to first ask, and she just kind of, it stalls on her tongue. Aaron, if he's got yet another key for the upstairs flat, I'll be right back. And she hastily starts heading across the way, but she goes, "No breaking!" As she's heads off.
Sarren, you any good at opening these things without breaking them?
Well, I look around. Is there any spaces under the door, like big enough for a small, like furry mouse or something to get?
Yeah, first wild chain.
Well,
Maybe
it's
that
like
window
it's like
or something?
it's like an insert door, so it's on the inside of the wall. There's like a little step in front of it. So like maybe if you like push the door a bit inward, it might like give a little bit of space to then like squeeze below it, but beneath it. But at that point, you kind of think the door might not be in one piece anymore. But yeah. But in its current state, probably not.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, you see me get on the ground, and I'm looking around the door.
Want me to
And,
shove it?
I said, well, I mean, I can kind of turn into a small creature, but if you push the door by that point, we won't really need to.
Maybe I could
I
just
look
shove it
around.
a little bit.
I look around and I say, just poke the corner of it here, and I point at the very bottom. I was like, quietly.
So Giya's gonna take her foot, right, and just kind of like put pressure against the door, like so, like she just takes the toes of her foot, trying to put pressure on the door. If she thinks it's gonna break, then I'll stop. You know, if it feels like it's gonna bust the lock or the hinges or something.
So you're just like trying to do a little bit of pressure and it doesn't like instantly give a bit. So you're just like doing a bit more. It's like you're hearing like a little bit of splinters going on, and it's like just bending a little bit. Do you want to go on, or?
But still not enough room for a mouse.
It definitely isn't.
I think I'm gonna break it.
So you want to go on, or?
I'm kind of looking at Sarren. Like...
I shrug my shoulders, like, I don't know what to do.
Why do people lock their doors?
I just shake my head. I said, this is so weird. Why? Yeah, why?
Celes bursts into the house.
Celes is like,
At Silver Road.
And Felix just like, just looking up straight at you.
And she says, the flat above the shop, is that part...
It is a normal person's house.
That is unrelated. It is not
no.
Furnace's establishment.
Why are you asking?
Because it's part of the same building, and we did not know if it was also included in part of the... Thank you!
Yes.
And she goes, I have to go. She quickly...
And it's just like, looking after you, and it's like...
She quickly
goes back.
She quickly like jostles back. She's wearing kind of like this battered chainmail, and she's like, no, leave it be. She finally catches up to the stairs and says, all right, this is someone else's home. It's unrelated completely. We should move on. You didn't break anything, did you?
No.
I just shake my head.
All right. Well, the warehouses or the home? Because obviously
How
this
long
was.
have we been like on the road? Just kind of thinking about
7 days nonstop.
Well, guess I'm just wondering like what if I would be ready for food, for sleep, for
Well, it's relatively like it's approaching noon kind of soonish. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Do you think we can find some food along the way?
Quite possibly. I mean, I
I
think we
just
have to
look
go
at
through
you.
Southgate in order to get to the docks, and well,
I look at you. I'm like, what do you eat? If you don't mind me asking.
snails.
Nope.
Oh, I don't eat snails.
Fish.
I kind of like start looking around, like for things. It's tough. There's nothing around that I would eat here.
I eat people.
Alright, I'll reach in my pouch and I pull out a little, like, small, like, dried fish. I was like, "What this one?" It's tiny too, because it's like a little dried fish.
Thank you, but let's see what we find.
And Celes says, perhaps then we head towards the docks, because I think we might find a place to eat along the way.
So, what are docks?
It's a place where water transport is available, as well as people who fish. They're commonly
Who
referred to
fish?
as fisher folk.
Like, oh, okay, like canoes, rafts.
Very large ones, yes.
I've never seen a large raft.
Well, this is a very excellent opportunity. Let's move on then.
The whole time we're walking, I'm like, "What is that? Look at that! What is that over there?"
So you're making your way down to the docks, or
Yes.
okay. So as you travel a bit, generally the people are kind of like still the same. It's just a lot of like you kind of get a vibe that they want to just be currently just left to their business or whatever they're currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
And after a bit of walking, you come across, like you start hearing a little bit of music, and you aren't really sure where it's coming from. And as you walk along, you see a little bit like a kind of like small gathering of people on the side of the street, and as you get closer, you kind of just like peek through the people, and see a small goblin there performing for a couple people. So yeah.
What's the general feeling towards goblins? Like, goblins.
Well, they are like curiously staring. They're just like kind of following what he's doing, and you didn't really get you didn't really see a lot of applause. And there's been people that are just like continued on, and there's like people who are just getting there and just like slowly walk by rather than just standing there. And those that are there, generally the opinion is like they're just more curiously staring what he's doing rather than like being fully cheering or something. So yeah.
Okay.
And that would be an entertainer over there. Someone who performs for enjoyment and hopes for some coin to be tossed their way for their efforts. She's talking to Sarren. It's quite commonplace, you might find in a city.
I just kind of run over in front of it and start clapping my hands. And I just keep looking at you. Look at it. I just keep clapping my hands.
So what might the goblin be doing?
Goblin is stepping from one foot to another, playing on his accordion, and he's saying, "Look at this folk! She knows. Is she or he?"
She. I think everybody here is female except for you.
Everyone's female, yeah.
Great. Look at this all. He knew like to hold a party, and I'm continuing playing.
Okay.
Come on, people, step right up, step right up.
Give me a performance check, Quilby.
Damn it. Oh, damn it.
It's above average.
11? Yeah.
So yeah, you're getting like a couple nods, and a couple people are like, yeah, they're just a bit in the mood. They're not super entranced by it, but like, yeah, they're convinced of your show. Yeah, and you're seeing like a couple silver pieces being thrown your way.
I'll follow Sarren up.
I see people putting coins in in his little box or whatever. I rummage in my pouch, and I have some flowers that I had, and I kind of quickly weave them into like a little ring or whatever, and I kind of walk over and toss it in, and then step back and keep clapping. I'm just laughing and look over at Giya. I'm like, it's awesome, it's so great. Listen to it.
I'm kind of staring at the flowers.
I look at you. I was like, oh. I pull out a handful and I hold them up. I was like, you want some?
I'll take them and I kind of like start like I'm sorting them. Actually, I'm sorting them into like got like my hand out and I'm kind of like organizing them in my hand.
Celes comes up behind the two of them.
And then I eat one.
Well, just picturing the whole turtle movements. Turtle movements. Sorry.
So yeah, Quilby, you've been around in town like probably 1 to 2 days, and you've noticed that like staying a bit up in the higher society areas, that you're usually getting at least a bit more than down near the docks. Though, well, it's mostly human, and these are definitely the more outstanding kind of people that have come across your way since you've been here. So
Noted.
quite the unusual ones around here.
I hold a flower up. This is Yellow Rattle. I say, we also know this is the Meadow Maker.
I nod my head. I'm like, yes, it's very good for healing. Like, I'm just rattling off everything because I'm excited. I found somebody that has something in common with me.
End my current song, and I'm going to announce that's for all folks. I need a little break.
And yeah, people are just like nodding and going away, or bit clapping, like faint clapping, and they're basically then moving on.
After that, I'm starting to reorganize my things, collect the coins that I've earned with my hard work, and after that I'm going to turn to the group. Yeah, and from here, Arya.
Do you want those flowers?
Celes says, not typically. I've only visited these parts on occasion. It's not common to see a goblin busker either.
Yeah, that's a quite rare sight. So I've been living here for a while. Would you like a guide?
Well, we'd rather perhaps have some.
No, I'm cheap. Never mind that. I'm not very picky.
I pulled out a dried fish. I was like, will this work?
Not that picky.
I just shrug my shoulders and eat it. And I put some more flowers in Giya's hand.
Yeah,
Just hold up a purple one, and this one is good for, what ails you with your feet when they're aching. And I just...
Oh, she takes it. Oh, this is a variety of scorpion grass. He says, also known as mouses here.
Just like nodding my head.
Yeah, one of your companion, your favorite companion, really appreciated my show. So let's say for 1 silver, I will tell you whatever you would like to know. If I know the answer.
So
What do you say?
Celes kind of gives a bit of a laugh, and she says, "Well, I would hope it at least be entertaining, if not informative." And
I say, hold on, wait, I got something. And I rummage through my pouch and you hear it clinging. I'm like, the village elder, they told me that this will come in handy. And I hand it to Celes. I have my hand closed and I hold it out. And I drop like 3 gold coins in her hand. Like, will this work?
she says,
My eyes widen.
She goes, "It's a bit much." And she says, "Hang on to those ones. I'll use this one instead." And she pulls out a silver coin and holds it to the goblin. "I'm Celes. What's your name?"
I'm Quilby.
"Well,
At your
Quilby."
service.
And she kind of drops the silver in your hand and says, We're headed over to the docks area looking for a man by the name of Furnace of the guides. Do you know anything about him or his accomplices, or his other people? Other people that he has known. Sorry, playing an intelligent character is not easy, especially when you're not that intelligent as your character is. Or a person that might be associated with him by the name of Alice.
Fairness or Alice?
Furnace was
or even
in
this girl, and I hold up the picture of the girl and the.
Do I recognize?
Wisdom check. Just general wisdom.
Wisdom.
Oh,
a recognize check. Ooh. Yay!
Oh, that's not too bad actually.
Yeah. Nice.
You haven't you haven't seen Alice or like the picture of like the drawing of the woman she's holding up, and you haven't really like heard the name Alice. Though you have heard the name Furnace in rumors, and the word going around was that as you've been around in the docks, the rumor was that a group of people is trying to undermine or remove people from the Guide Society, and that this Furnace person might be next. That is, but pretty much the extent of what you know.
I don't know this gal, but I've heard about. Well, I've heard somewhere the name Furnace. You say he's associated with the Guide Society?
Yes, he was in the early stages of building a teleportation circle for the city, and he's since gone missing. We're looking for him.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard also that someone wants to sabotage his efforts.
Oh.
Or get him removed. Something like that. I really didn't pay attention for the assassination or any, let's say, unlawful acts. So I have been on my way.
Do you have any names or locations that would be useful?
Let me think.
No. No, you do not. Your second personality has answered the question.
Says, all right, well, that actually did prove useful. It more or less confirmed some thoughts that I might have had on this. Well, we're off to the docks. Thank you for your help.
Wait, hang on. I promise I will, so maybe you'll take me with you?
I beg your pardon?
I think he wants to come with us, Giya says.
He can play music.
Right.
Good point.
I don't think that I could afford a constant payment of a busker, though. You're welcome.
No. I've asked it only for paying for the for being a guide.
Right.
If you will take me with you, I'll just be an entertainment for you without a price.
Okay. What's your price for the guide?
Plus what I will earn for on this side, if you don't mind.
No, none at all.
On the side? What does that mean?
It means...
I look around on him, unlike the sides. Just kind of shake my head. So I look at yeah, I'm like, goblins are weird too.
Says he means while doing something primarily, he will also be doing something secondary. And Celes seems very proud of her explanation, even though it's probably very poor. She expected people to understand it, and she says, "Well, what is your fee for guidance, sir?"
He said he'd do it for free.
Oh, I thought he said that the music would be for free.
Giya is taking the opportunity.
Okay, gotcha.
He said it would be free with what he earns on the side.
All right. Well, you're welcome to join us then, Quilby.
Yes.
In case you did not already know, this is Giya and this is Sarren. Celes, Giya and I are working for the Hand, and Sarren seems to be in search of somebody related to the same person we're looking for. So we're looking for Furnace's warehouse. Would you happen to know the exact one? That would be useful.
Your mind says no.
That's all right. Let's proceed on towards the docks while also looking for food, I guess. Perhaps a florist shop, aka hot dog stand for turtles, I guess.
So as you make your way like kind of down to the direction of Southgate and docks and just get over the river, you can see on the other side there is a larger marketplace area where there's a couple people having small tents and like general I'm lacking the English term for this. Just like little stands where they
Like a market.
sell stuff. Yeah, it's just small market. And as you glance over it, you can see there's primarily fish being traded, but you can also see a bit further in the back there's probably gonna be like some raw minerals being traded, as well as general like grain and stuff. So I suppose you make your way further down to the city, or do you want to stop for something? And I guess what I'm asking is where do you want to head next?
Yeah. My personal opinion was heading for the docks warehouse.
All right. So yeah, you make your way down into the direction of the docks. You don't really know where the warehouse are. You just know that like they are somewhere close to the docks and probably somewhere around here.
I kind of figured we'd be able to recognize the warehouses once we got there.
Well, yeah, you like get the general gist, like, okay, that's where people are just like rolling barrels towards or just like carrying stuff to. And yeah. So you get your so you make your way down to the docks and just like ask a bit around where it's like, hey, where the warehouses are, and just a bit for directions, and you're pointed somewhat in like the closer direction behind the docks.
Mm-hmm.
And just switch over here and and yeah, get into the general area of the warehouses.
Okay.
I don't see it.
So just to like give a bit of direction, generally like this, you can
don't
see
see
one
anything.
warehouse building.
It's all black.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
see
have
it.
a
Others
reveal.
don't. Apparently.
Yeah, but I don't want to reveal the interior. So I guess I can just abuse your owl, I suppose. If that works out.
No, they're not seeing anything. I see it, but they don't.
Oh, you. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, I
That
think
is
it's a Roll20 feature that just needs to be enabled for individual. I guess.
Well, I'm just gonna grab everyone's stuff and just move them around.
Oh.
That
Just
is not
use our imagination.
I guess you can see like most stuff now.
Nope, they still have black screen.
Oh, I have to use yours. Oh, that is not what I wanted.
Nope, they still have black screen.
What?
They don't even have dynamic lighting for them.
Oh no, I get it.
I mean, the entire thing is just a black.
Yeah, you have to set like in oh crap. I'm trying to remember.
That is like a lot of work.
Yeah, you have to set it for like each token.
That is.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. I can see now.
Well, give me a minute then.
No worries.
See, that's why I wanted to test the whole stuff with you, Vallen.
Yeah.
Turns out it didn't work as expected.
While you're doing that, I am going to take this opportunity, because I meant to mention this at the beginning, but oops.
So I'm just gonna grab everyone, just move you guys around to get the general outline of the building, but like not what's inside, I guess.
This guy here is the one who did the art for Hellfire's avatar, and is allowing us the temporary use of it until he is able to claim the use of a webcam. So thank you very much, Stephen Nickel, and you can check out him on ArtStation.
Nice.
Question: is he open for commissions?
You'd have to ask him.
Yeah.
Very nice guy, and really awesome work too. I love a lot of the artwork that he's done.
I just love how I just cleared all the.
Yeah, like that's what I originally wanted to go for. Like can see the outline of the buildings and just the general stuff, but not inside the buildings. So, am I missing someone, or are we good now?
I think we're all good. I can see fine, except for like in the. Oh, now you just cut across a building, so now I can see inside it. You might want to stop moving me. No, you're making it worse. Apparently, dragging my character across buildings opens it completely. So, I don't see any tokens, just stuff inside. Anyway.
Right, was it Steve Nickel? Stephen?
Stephen. I'm not sure if he pronounces it Stephen or Stefan or Stefan or Stephen.
Well, I hope everyone can like see the general outline of the buildings, and so
there you go.
It's not completely ruined.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
Steve Sketches.
Thank you.
.artstation.com, and that's STEVES. Steve Sketches.
Houses. Yeah, it's got some good stuff. Sorry, Hellfire.
Well, I hope everyone can at least like see stuff now.
Yes.
Copy.
So yeah, you have like kind of gotten to the general dock warehouse area. There, you currently can't really see anyone around. So
Here's the link.
Oh, thank you. I'll have that in the description once this goes on YouTube as well.
and yeah, all you know is you're looking for Furnace's warehouse, and it should be somewhere around here probably.
Okay.
I think Discord is frozen for me.
Everybody seems to be moving for me.
Oh, moving.
I don't hear anybody.
You don't hear anybody? Well, they're not saying anything. Hello?
I
Hello.
don't even hear back
Hello.
calls.
Hello?
They're all saying.
Mic check.
You can
1,
hear
2, 3, test.
Okay. Well, I can hear you guys. Hold on a sec. So maybe
Hold
go to
on.
Discord, I guess? Or just give it a minute? I don't know. Sorry, Kashka's having technical difficulties at the moment. It's not just roll 20.
Oh, just in
So she cannot hear us.
Yeah. That's all right. The cameras are going to be messed up for a brief moment while she disconnects and reconnects. Yep.
Oh, I like how you're
fine.
Nerva. I like how your face is.
Stretched across.
Let me check.
It's split there.
See,
Now, if
it's
it
a perfect
rearranges the
position.
images, that's going to be great.
Oh, it's the left arm versus the right arm.
Headless man.
Woo.
We see you. You seem to be moving for me.
I can hear you.
You can.
Woo.
Yay!
Yay!
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, all has
Sorry.
returned.
And the cameras are still in the correct position.
Amazing.
Indeed. We're fortunate that way.
Yeah.
So we have arrived. Are the warehouses labeled with names of who or what company might run them?
Actually, they are not. It seems like a few of them were. Like you can see, you can make out like pieces of cloth being okay. Like just looking at the warehouse, you can see right now. You can see like a piece of cloth where it was originally like nailed to the wall here, but it's been torn off, and it's like only two cloth pieces. Just like parts of it are still hanging there. So doesn't seem like it from here.
Okay. Celes says, well, it's got to be one of these. There doesn't seem to be anybody around, so don't break anything, but let's see if the key fits in any of these doors or if they're just plain old open. Perhaps we can look around and find more information than our friend Erin was able to. And she'll approach the closest one, which I'm gonna guess is just straight south here.
I guess, yeah.
Are we breaking in?
No.
Could we
We
just
have
notice
permission and keys to investigate the warehouse owned by Furnace of the Guides.
Are you sure about that?
Dungeon Master, you have just been given inspiration.
Woo.
And it is up to you to determine how you and us use that inspiration.
So I can just inspire someone making a perception check.
You can use
From
it
my end, or
for you, against you, however you want to do it.
nice. That comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
So yeah, you're gonna try to open up the unlock and open up that door.
Well, first I'm going to see if it's locked.
Oh yeah, it is locked.
Okay. I don't have the key, so Celes would say, well, this one seems to be locked. Giya, would you mind checking to see if your key will unlock the door?
Sure. Actually, I think, well, I don't know. Sarren, would you have handed those back to me after we tried to break into some random person's flat?
Yeah, I think I handed them back to you.
Okay. So then, sure. I will try my key.
All right. So you just kind of like try to fit the key inside the lock. It doesn't really easily go in, but you manage to get it in, and it doesn't turn.
Okay. All right. Nope. Giya says.
Okay. She'll say, let's move on to the next door then. There could be multiple doors. Could be multiple. There's obviously multiple buildings. And then she'll move on over here with the rest of them.
All right. And you can like also kind of like see down the road now, and like kind of just like see down the alleyway and see a couple more buildings down there. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm gonna try this one.
It is locked. And you try the key, and it doesn't really fit.
Nope. Giya says. And she's gonna kind of start moving down the road. Just looking for doors.
Okay.
Really.
Sarren, you can also now see an alleyway to the left and like one small side door.
I run down there. I was like, there's one down here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow and try my key in this door.
Doesn't seem to fit.
Okay. Kind of, yeah, peek my head around the corner. Here.
Yeah, I can see to the left a bit of a larger, door, maybe like the front side of a warehouse building. And to the right, you can see that the building continues down a bit, and then there's like a bit of the handle of a cart.
Okay. Try this door.
There are any cracks in the walls?
You don't really notice any cracks. It is pretty much just kind of like
So
smooth.
the buildings are well maintained.
Yeah, the buildings are generally well maintained, and yeah. Yeah, I know that I have the inspiration. Thank you.
It was more just a reminder in case it gets forgotten later.
Oh yeah, sure. So you're just trying the key against the door?
Yeah.
As you try to put the key in, the door just slides open.
Oh.
And
does it look like
I
it would
guess
fit though? Because
it didn't look like it would fit.
I don't think this is the one. I say, but it's open.
And
says,
kind of can like get a look inside.
Is there anyone inside?
No, there is no one inside. And you can see a pretty clean and well-tiled floor, and a kind of like smashed crate to the side, as well as somewhat ajar another open crate. And in the far side of the building, you can see a small chest. It seems like a longer container. It resembles a chest, and somewhat of like a small reading desk.
Okay. I kind of start to actually like slide the door shut again.
So it says, well, hold on one moment. Not that we need to trespass, but we can always check. Hello? And she calls inside. Furnace? And she just listens.
There's no response.
Giya is like wandering off. Big shrug.
I'm like, don't you think he would pop out or come out whenever he heard somebody open the door? Why were you yelling in there?
Could be held captive somewhere. Does anything look big enough like it could hold a body?
Oh, in the warehouse you're saying? No.
Okay.
It doesn't really seem like it. Well, there's like one barrel and like a chest. So
You could fit a body in a barrel.
like yeah, you can like you kind of get the gist. Like yeah, if you cram it together, you can like probably fit a body inside a barrel. You can probably fit a body inside a chest, I guess.
It's
Right,
got
so
to be in small enough pieces.
she pulls the door closed.
Alright. I'm gonna head down
So-
this way.
Mhm.
Yeah, as you wander down, you just see like more of a cart appearing behind the side wall there, and large wooden doors.
Okay. I head up to the doors, and actually this time I'm gonna knock because I kind of feel like busting open the door if somebody's left it open.
As you kind of like knock against the door, are you like listening for a response or just like gonna try opening it next second?
Well, I'm gonna knock, wait like 5-10 seconds. If there's no response, then I start comparing my key to the door.
Giya and Sarren that are right in front of the door. Give me a perception check. Oh. Well, you don't.
I
Oh,
just hopped on
Oh, yeah.
on the cart.
oh, nice. Yeah, you can like you didn't hear anything, and you're probably gonna try to open it or get the key in next second. Sarren, you very clearly hear on the far side of the interior movement. You hear someone probably getting up and just shifting around.
I put my hand on Giya. I'm like, there's somebody in there.
Though you didn't like hear any response to your knocking.
Hmm.
Well, there's something in there moving around. Maybe an animal.
Celes says, "Did you find it? Is this the right place?"
I'm comparing my key to the door.
You still hear a bit of movement inside, Sarren.
Well, something's in there moving
Oh.
around.
You're trying the key?
I'm just kind of, well, yes, I will try putting my key in. If there's a lock, obviously.
Similar situation to what happened on the warehouse up top. As you're trying to put the key in, there's just the door kind of gives a bit, and you get the idea that it is probably open.
Okay, I'm still gonna I'm actually gonna kind of hold the door shut by the handle. Presumably it has like a handle. And then try my key still. I'm not gonna let it open.
Well, the key doesn't fit.
Okay. Alright. Then I pull the door back too and say this isn't the one anyway.
And
You can
So-
still hear a bit of faint movement, Sarren, and you get the idea whatever's in there is probably just moving a bit around. And yeah.
Celes would say, "Is anybody inside that could perhaps help direct us to the right warehouse?"
I knocked and they didn't answer,
Okay. All right.
so I don't think they want to help.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one then.
Okay.
When they walk away, I'm gonna push the door open a little bit and peek in.
Do you really want?
There's a door over here, Giya.
As you just like well, as the others are just moving away, you just slowly push the door open and get a glimpse inside, and you can just like I guess move your token inside, and you just barely see someone disappearing into, like, you can see down and you see the door on the right, and you can just barely see someone moving through the door.
I just kind of look around.
Well, well, you look around and what do you see? What do you see? Right, there's a table on the far side with chairs around, and just cups standing on the table. There's some paper stuff on the table, and to the left side there is, well, as you can see, also somewhat like seemingly a chest or container of some sort.
I'm gonna slowly walk over to that door and listen.
All right. As you're moving over there, you can just hear footsteps and more footsteps and just something being shoved away, or it's just something being shoved. And yeah, at this point, I want a new perception check.
Do you think we should just let her wander around?
Sarren, where are you going?
And at this point, you don't really hear anything anymore. It just falls silent. And then you can hear a door get shut, like just slam shut. And that's it.
Celes says, "Oh, she doesn't know proper etiquette in the city." And she moves over and says, "I'll just go let her know that she shouldn't be poking around in other people's places."
I just kind of hearing the door shut. I'm gonna open this one, thinking somebody might be in trouble.
All right. You just open, like it was still partially open from like whatever it was ushering through before. So you just make it open and just step in, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, can definitely do that. And you see crates.
Hey, what's going on?
Crates.
Like after hearing them say somebody could be like hurt or whatever, I'm kind of like, oh, I heard noise, so I'm gonna go, investigate, look.
So yeah, you see crates. You see like a sack of something on the ground and more crates.
And you hear a voice behind you. Sarren! Sarren, it's probably not a good idea to go wandering in other people's homes. Or, well, property. Sarren, where'd you go? She's just calling in through the doorway right now.
Yeah, you can hear that though.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in here. I thought there was some noise. I thought somebody was hurt. I'm gonna walk over to this back.
Celes pokes her head in.
Yeah, you get this the same image that she had, like a room filled with a table on the far side, chairs around, some cups standing on the table, and some piece of paper seemingly lying on the table, as well as like a small table and chair to the side, and a chest.
Okay.
Or some sort of like box container.
And I don't see Sarren in this room at all. She's obviously calling from this room.
Yeah, you see this. Like, I guess I can also just for the others get rid of that. Like, you also see the door wide open, and you probably think that she went through, given she isn't in here.
Okay. So she would pursue and, just try and find where she went.
Mm-hmm.
See her through the door and says, "Is anybody here? Hello?" And she's calling out loud at this point. Sarren, did you find who you were looking for?
No, I heard some noise in here, and then I heard some loud, like, bang, and there's nothing in here but some crates and a bag on the floor. I just kind of poke it with my foot.
Are any of them big enough to hold a body? What we're looking for.
I mean, there's like definitely one or two crates that could potentially hold a body, but
Okay.
Yeah, it's crates.
I'm gonna come around the corner and try this door.
Okay.
All right, you try the door, and the key doesn't fit.
Sarren, you probably just heard some rats or something in here. That's not uncommon for the warehouse dogs. Come, let's.
I shake my head. I know what rats sound like, and that wasn't a rat. But okay, I'm gonna kneel down and look at this bag. Just kind of curious.
Sure. You wanna like try open it up, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to open the.
All right, so you just like fumble around a bit and just get a bit frustrated and just pull up it open with a bit more force, and a couple apples drop out.
Celes says, Sarren, that's not. That's someone else's property. We shouldn't be here. Come now. Let's go. I know you're not
And
familiar with it.
And an apple rolls across the floor.
We're going to get
I
in
just
trouble
reach
with you.
over and pick it up, and I put it in my sack as I come out.
Apple uptake.
All right.
I see this door over here. Except I can't. Oh, what's going on? Roll 20.
Celes pops out.
The other side of the door, or which side of the door?
Hang on, let me refresh roll 20.
Sure.
The one that's like directly down the alleyway, like across the main.
Oh, on the other side of the same building?
This one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
All right.
So I see that one down there. So I'm gonna go
Same
try that
thing.
one.
You try fitting the key, like you just try push a bit against it. Yeah, it's not opening, so you're pushing the key and it goes in, but doesn't turn.
Okay. So many doors to choose from now.
Celes says, come on, everybody. Let's get out of this warehouse. This doesn't belong to us.
I'm gonna try this one.
I just
Mark
kind of
up.
walk off. Like I look at the table, see if there's anything interesting.
She's just standing there with both of the doors open, just kind of expectantly at this point.
Pretty much the same thing, Kashcah. You just try push against it, it doesn't open. So you fit the key and it doesn't fit.
Okay.
Running out of doors.
I know. What the hell? I've already seen this one over here, so I'm gonna try that one.
So you push, you push against the door. It doesn't budge really. You try fit the key, and the key fits in, and it turns.
Da 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 da. Guys! Found it!
So it says, come on then, let's go.
And I'm gonna open and step in.
All right, so you step into a pretty wrecked warehouse.
Whoa.
There is literally just wood splintered all across the floor. You see on the backside a crate that is just smashed open and probably contributing to the already huge pile of stuff on the floor. I can probably just get rid of that for you. You see to the right there is again like a small reading desk, probably, or yeah, and it's just covered and just splinters around it. There's another crate that seems pretty smashed to the right side of you, as well as an weirdly placed armored statue of something. And in the far right side, you can see a bookshelf, still with a couple books in it, though there's also a couple books just spread across the floor. And yeah, that's it.
So I approach the armor.
All right.
Kind of like,
So you're giving it like a good look over, or just like?
yeah, I squint my eyes at it and then I'm examining it closely.
Sure. And what was it? Investigation.
Investigation.
So yeah, you get a good look over it, and it's like really finely made, and it didn't really like get a lot of, like, it has a bit of dents here and there, and like you get the idea that probably whatever wrecked this place had like a bit of impacts here and there on it, but overall it's like, yeah, a statue of like armor.
Lift the visor on the helmet. Peer down
You lift
inside.
the visor on the helmet, and it looks pretty dark inside, except like a few little like seconds from light.
Okay. I turn to Sarren. This is it. Shrug my shoulders.
I'm like, that's who we were looking for? I pointed at the arm.
What's going on?
So it says, no, I think that's just decorative. And she starts fumbling about through the broken parts strewn about the entire room, tries to piece together what might have caused it, or if there's any remnants of anything that was inside.
Sure. You get the idea that probably there were like 1 or 2 more crates of stuff, and maybe they had like books in them, but yeah, you're like not sure. Even like the bookshelf on the back side has like a couple books just like dangling out of it a bit, and yeah, it just seems like a pretty wrecked place. Like, yeah.
Did you say there were books hanging out?
Yeah, it's like a bookshelf in the back. I don't know how well you can see that.
Oh, over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like a couple books that are just like still well placed inside. And then there's like a few that probably have been a bit tucked on and are just like halfway out and stuff. And then there's like a part that is just like all books are just probably lying below you somewhere.
Start looking at the books and through them.
All right, you also give me a investigation check.
Okie dokie. Investigation. Whoa.
That is pretty good. So you pull out a few books. You just like pull it out, just look through them. A couple of them are actually completely blank and empty. Others are like talking about several aspects of the continent. It's like, yeah, like just talking about the general landscape and things. Others are talking about several like spells describing how they're like kind of like functioning and what implements have been tried and refining them and so on. Just like the process of a bit of spell making or the ideas behind it. And as you're like going through it, what are the others doing? Just
I kind of standing there staring at the suit of armor, just kind of moving, like pushing it around a little bit.
So as you're all just like going about and trying to like examine the room, think like, oh right, so this place has been like probably someone might have been here or something has like destroyed this place. Celes, you kind of notice behind you a little rattle in like the wound splinters. And you kind of notice that like you just turn around and look down and you don't really see anything. And it's at this point that like one of the books just like starts to rattle and shake and just like open a bit by itself and just tries to get out of these splinters and then slowly rises up and just hovers in the air. And its pages just kind of like open up with these fangs inside of them.
I'm like,
wait, open up with what inside of them?
Fangs.
Ah.
Yeah, like fangs. And
I've got my maul.
So originally she was like reaching out to like, she's like, that's strange. And then she's like, oh.
Just like this book with like a little bit of like paper tongue hanging out of it.
It's a monster manual.
I scream and I start trying to push the goblin out of the way.
And while you were all just focused on that side, there's also just one emerging from the front. And yeah, they are just like hovering a bit below ground. And Yeah, that's gonna be our first initiative.
Oh boy. Turn order is on the screen.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Look at the
that's
big brain on
actually
Brad.
pretty cool.
It's Celes. Thank you very
I gotta find the
much.
piece of paper where I put the stats on. I think I found it. I actually found it.
Be a good book now and stay away.
Books are always bad.
No biting.
Oh wow,
No
really?
biting.
Is my name gonna be that huge every time on the turn order? That's
Oh
ridiculous.
man. No. And I guess I'm already gonna like. All right. So. All right. So you're up first. The book is hovering in front of you, and you can like see out of the corner of your eye. There's another book on the far side of the room.
Right. Celes, thinking of others before herself in this case, would say, "Watch out!" She'd use bonus action to summon her glaive to her hand. And then I don't know if she would provoke an attack of opportunity. She might, but she would. Oops, that's the owl.
I mean, for the sake of argument, you're probably not standing halfway inside a bookshelf.
Okay.
So you're standing in front of it. So yeah.
Okay.
If you're moving out of the book's range.
Oops. I don't know what just happened. I just somehow moved myself outside of the building. All right, there we go. She's basically just takes... Oh no, she just needs to take a 5-foot step. I forgot. She's got a reach weapon, so she's not provoking an attack there. And she stabs at this book with her glaive, trying to swipe it out of the air.
Whoa.
Giya says, "Don't be ridiculous."
Oh, wow.
And she gets a natural 20 to hit the darn
That book
thing.
is gonna be toast.
Well, she's all about protecting knowledge. This is funny. So this is like
Trying to fight knowledge.
And because she's half orc, she also does savage attacks, which she rolls a 1.
A little bit.
Oh wait, that's actually the wrong. It's supposed to be a 1d10. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Hold on, it's a 1d10. There you go. So it's 8 plus 9 plus 6.
Oh boy.
For this.
Yeah, as like you can see as the book is just rising up and wants to just try to snatch at Giya, and just opens up its jaw. You just cleave right in the middle of it, and it just breaks into 2 pieces and falls to the ground.
Voltron, totally. And that's it for her turn.
That book is fucking toast. It's like a sad book.
Mm-hmm. It's always sad.
All right, so I guess that's it on your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the other book's turn,
Oh, puns.
and well, it just turns to you and tries to bite at you.
Mm-hmm.
And it does.
Hold on.
I guess.
Hold on. She would, for the attack, she would do her typical shield spell as a reaction. If that's
Alright.
okay.
Sure.
Boop. Which would increase her AC.
By 5. That brings you to a total of...
21.
Oh man, that's like barely missing you. So it just like rises up and snatches at you, just cleaves off, like just barely in front of you, not really getting any grip on you. So
Okay. I will use that.
yeah, that's actually the book's turn.
I don't have any spell slots.
Sad book. Not too much bookage to be had. All right, Sarren.
I scream and I start pushing the goblin, trying to get out the door.
Oh, come on!
You could probably just step over him.
Yeah, that's all I do. I'm just like, nope. I want to go back home. I don't think I like any of this. I'm just trying to get out of the door, like being clumsy, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. So no books to be had for you.
Nope.
All right, then.
Do we decimate them?
I also
All
like.
right. Then.
Now that's a short
So-
story.
Do you wanna like move out or?
Yeah, I'm gonna move out.
Are you
Alright.
sure you don't want to search this place more thoroughly?
Find more books.
So Quilby, it's your turn.
Right, Quilby.
There is one book that just snatched at Celes while she was cleaving the one in half that was just right in front of you.
Gonna use a vicious mockery.
Um, the target can't hear you. A book can't hear.
Oh, so rude. I still want to hear him do the vicious mockery, though.
You can do the vicious mockery, but
I cannot insult the book.
look at you with all your fucking knowledge. You're better than me.
Okay, I kind of understand that inanimate objects cannot have feelings.
Not sure you can make a book feel so bad it's gonna consider its life choices.
Hey, it's sentient enough that it flows and have fangs and it bites.
Right. I'm sorry. It has nothing to hear with.
Sad face.
Yeah. I mean, you can still move if you want to get like out of there.
Mm,
Funny thing is, the book is actually the book of insults.
All those insults were lost.
101 ways to insult your friends.
Yeah, pretty much. How not to be attacked by vicious mockery. Step 1, be a book.
Be a book.
Have no ears. Step 2.
All right, what are you gonna do? Gonna stay in here or step out? 3, 2.
I'm kind of going to lounge and attack
Gonna regret that.
with my rapier.
Sure. Yeah, that will hit. All right, and you pierce into the book, and it's again just pierce into the side of it, and you can just rip a couple pages out, but it's still floating and still going for probably a second bite soon enough.
It says bleh.
Just spews out a couple like pieces of paper. All right. So
Can I use it as a bonus action?
Use what?
And I'm going to use a tumble as a bonus action. So I will be
Sure.
able to step back without provoking an attack of opportunity, if I understand this correctly.
you can disengage, yeah.
So I'm disengaging.
Oh boy. All right. Giya, it is your turn. That book was just cleaved into half in front of you.
And the other one has been, I think it's been hurt.
A couple pages were ripped out of it, and it doesn't like. It didn't seem to like it.
I kind of look at Celes, how close she is to that book. Look at the one in front of me. Sling my maul over my back and kind of pick up the remnants of the dead book, and I'm like shaking it around.
Intimidating.
I'm just like checking it out. Like seeing if it has any actual writing on the pages,
Like, actually, you've been that sure they were just like writing on it, but now, like, just looking through it and just tumbling it around, the pages are blank.
Crazy magic, she says. And that's gonna be my turn.
Oh. All right. Sorry. All right, that brings us to Celes' turn.
And
There is
she...
a book that just snatched at you.
Yes,
Or tried
and
to.
she's actually she looks she has this insulted look on her face, like it's an affront to knowledge to possess books in such a manner and use them for such low means. So she tries swinging at this one with her glaive as well.
All right.
And
That will hit.
there we go.
All right, so you cleave a bit into the upper part of it, so it's like almost cut in half, but it's still somewhat holding on and just tumbling a bit in the air. So you feel like you probably almost got it.
Well, actually, I wanted to use my... Where is it? Not the action search. I didn't put it on here, did I? Oh, there it is. That, because I rolled a 2 for the damage. I get to reroll 1s and 2s and take the second result. In hopes of getting more.
Oh, I see.
So there.
All right, yeah, that will do it. So you just like, instead of cleaving like into one side of it, you're just getting all the way through it, and it kind of like falls out of the air and tumbles to the ground.
Okay. And then she just looks around her for more.
All right.
Realizing she saw several books on the shelves and was handling some and is worried that several of them will become animated.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. Oh.
Uh-oh.
That's weird. All right, I will fix that.
Yeah, I also will be trying to look around.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would look around in your turn. You, in the heat of battle, didn't see out of your corner, but are gonna see in a second that right beside you, if I could actually get a click on this, thank you. There is another one just starting to kind of like get up a bit, and to the side of Giya, from right between the bookshelf and this one reading stand, there's just one slowly coming out between those and just starting to hover up. And yeah, there seems to be 2 more books emerging and ready to fight.
Okay. While you're doing
So-
that, I'm going to continue fixing our camera situation, so give me a moment while I do that. But please
Celes, you
continue.
missed a couple.
This is getting a bit ridiculous. I need a little help here.
Oh, now you want help.
Oh, there's a bookshelf. Help. All right, so both of these books are gonna, as they rise up, and quickly gonna try take a bite.
Good job. Butcher.
First of all, the one right next to Celes in the back, that would be a 14.
Okay. And that's
I don't think
misses.
that hits.
I have 16 for my armor class.
Nice. So that one doesn't get a bite.
Mm-hmm.
And the one emerging right beside Giya will attempt to bite side out of her with the 12.
Nothing but shell.
All right, that one glides off the shell. Nice. So these 2 books are now hovering around
Dang it.
and helplessly trying to get a grip on someone. That will bring it to Sarren. Sarren, you still kind of like hear a bit of stuff going on in there, and apparently, from what you've heard, more books causing trouble.
Oh, great. I guess I'm gonna peek back in,
Mm.
and I'm gonna be like, "Is this what all cities are like?"
Fighting knowledge with everything.
Celes will actually say, "No, this is more like what it's like in the wilds."
And not where I'm from. I guess I'll kind of like, okay, I don't know what I can do, but I'll try. So I'll come in.
Just walk at the damn thing.
I just push past.
Guess I can just move this book into a more open area here.
Nope. I
Nope.
try to hit with my quarters.
Gotta
Book
close your
kinda
eyes
like-
as you swing.
Or maneuvers out of the way.
Yeah, I'm like, just kind of screaming like, evil thing, and that's it.
All right. Quilby, faced with more knowledge.
His weakness. Or, or is it his strength?
Yeah, actually, I'm much more educated than you all together. Oh. Hang on, I did not. Oh, I haven't had inspiration. What? Oh, okay. So, as a bonus action, I'll try inspire. What's your character name? Vallen again?
There's Giya, there's Sarren, there's Celes.
Your character's name.
My character is Celes.
Yeah. Okay. So I would like to give some encouraging words for Celes.
Thank you.
And
Mhm.
no, Mage Hand doesn't work, by the way.
I'm worried what you were planning on doing with Mage Hand all of a sudden.
Just slap it with my Doesn't
I
actually
could
do
probably
anything.
normally lift a book, but I don't know under these circumstances.
You could pick up a dead one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean, yeah.
I was thinking if I will be able to grab it with Mage Hand and hold it in place.
No. It has enough force of its own.
Okay, so I'm gonna go up to the closest book and pierce it with my rapier.
All right.
Worked for Harry Potter.
Mhm.
Of course he had
Yeah,
a-
the books.
That was a basilisk thing.
Yeah, they're both pointy.
Like-
Oh, actually, I was thinking about the books that Hagrid give out on his lesson
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
of the handling of magical creatures.
Pretty much.
Oh,
They're all like,
right.
You have to tickle it. There's my tickle.
You bring the rapier down, and you just miss it, and it's like moving past, and you just bam, stab into the floor right next to it.
Floating.
All right.
Okay, that's my turn.
All right then. Giya, it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna re-equip my maul and swing it at the book.
Have at
Please. Please. Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, we'll do it. That definitely is.
Maul it.
I mauled it.
All right.
Smack.
You just hit it, bam, square straight onto it, and trying to kind of like squish it against the floor.
Yep.
And then just like haphazardly comes up a bit and seems to still hang on. Sadly.
Okay. It's my turn.
All right. Tough books, hard read.
Really?
Hmm?
From all the book fans.
Celes, you're surrounded by books.
Which normally is a situation that she is absolutely in love with, but in this case, she's going
the
to.
content is really hard to digest.
Yeah.
She's going to attack this one to
I
the,
don't like eating them.
with her glaive, and she's going to do it.
That is probably gonna end that book's short lifespan. Yeah. That just makes quick work of the pages and
Yep.
just cuts it square clean in half.
Yep.
And the contents just slowly drift on the floor. Drift onto the floor.
Okay.
All right.
And that's it for hers.
Okay. And there is more book biting action. You slowly realize you should have read that book. And it's gonna take a bite at Giya, as it's currently focused on her. Oh no. No. No noms for the book.
Just kind of goes.
It's just like it's still kind of like tumbling and just like floating through the air, trying to just like keep itself in place. Just doesn't really get anything. Doesn't really get a bite off.
I can see it trying to Cookie
Sarren.
Monster her shell, and it's just like not getting any traction.
Nom, nom, Pac-Man me.
And you also notice the bookshelf is like just kind of slowly rattling a bit. So
Maybe I
Uh,
should just
I meant
smash
it
the
as
shell.
Celes.
I'm like, don't you think we should probably get out of here?
So yeah, Sarren.
I'm just
No.
smacking at it with my my staff. I'm just like, we should probably leave.
That is also sadly gonna miss a very hurt book. Sad
awesome.
stories. Yeah. Quilby.
I wish I've chosen Firebolt.
Oh, that would have probably been very good.
Set everything on fire. Just
Wasn't it like you should
continue-
have burned books?
I'll continue with hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, that will definitely get.
So far, using
but-
a maul and a glaive works.
And it's like
Rapier is all we damage.
Rapier's been doing work though.
So yeah, it's just like floating in front of you, and you're just like placing your rapier on top of it and just pinning it down on the ground, and you're just
Stay down.
and you're just holding your rapier there and just feeling it, just like still not giving in, and you're just trying to hold it there with your rapier. So it's not
Do I have
quite.
Do I have to make a strength check? Or?
No, it's just gonna like as you just kind of. Well, if you want to try and hold it there, I might as well just gonna allow it.
Yeah,
If-
I'll try to hold it. No.
All right then, just try. Strength check.
You're a
Nope.
goblin.
I mean, I'll make a contested strength check. Just. No, it will be on the ground. On the ground for now. As you're just like, it's like not really this. It's not really strong anymore, and you just manage to barely keep it on the ground.
You're riding
So-
it like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
So yeah, Giya, have at it.
So hang on. So it's being held to the ground by Quilby's rapier.
Yeah, you're gonna get advantage.
So if I smack it, am I gonna damage Quilby's rapier?
I mean, if you want to coordinate it, so it's like just take the rapier away and then like quickly afterwards, just smacking it, or
Is Quilby, is your rapier like goblin sized? Like, is it smaller? Like, is it proportionate to you?
or does it drag on the ground as he walks?
You can also use it to pole vault. Just thinking of the goblin flying through there. Nice.
I've yet to use Fury of the Small.
oh,
Alright.
oh.
Um,
But this, I don't think a book is like considerably larger than you.
Oh, that's true. Alright, well, I'm gonna smack with them all and miss. It's like I'm trying not to hit the rapier and.
It's on the floor, like it's held on the
so I
floor,
get-
so you
okay.
will get an advantage on it. So this will hit,
Oh, okay.
and you don't like. Yeah, it's done for good. Yeah, this. You have now squished it on the ground, and pages are just flying in both directions away from it.
Okay.
And yeah, that's
Is the bookcase
kind of like
active?
currently. That is currently the last book that you've seen floating about.
Okay.
So you can just, well, you can give me a perception check, and anyone who just wants to check around for stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like it's very noticeable. So yeah, all of you are like also Vallen. You're all or Celes. You're all noticing around the room. There's the bookshelf is just like a bit rattling going on and just slowly growing a bit. And even behind and like inside the armored statue, you can hear like a bit of rattling in there. You're not really sure if it's the armor or if there's something inside of it. But
You said the bookshelf is shaking as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna step forward, and that's the end of my turn.
Yeah.
I'm like
So
poised to smack the bookshelf.
Are there many books left in the bookshelf?
there's still quite a number of books in there.
Okay.
Actually,
So
what else? Can anybody get rid of this magic? Yes.
So also probably swipe the bookshelf, thinking it's the
It looks
source.
like it looks like we have triggered a booby trap.
So you're, how do you want to try to find out if there's something going on, Celes?
By stabbing the bookshelf right now, thinking that maybe if she breaks that, it'll stop spewing out books.
Oh, I have a thing.
You have a thing?
I have a thing I can do.
Oh, you just said it, and you're the one that does it, right?
Well, no, but I
Forgot.
can I do
do it.
I do that.
Oh, all right. Okay. So you cast detect magic, and the entire just lights up, and you really get the idea like something is being conjured in here.
Okay.
You are not really sure where from directly, as it's just like a lot of it is coming from the bookshelf, but it's also littered across the ground, and some of it inside the armor and the broken crate next to it.
Okay.
So
So that's probably when I would ask, can anyone get rid of this magic?
So it says, I've been trying one book at a time.
I think we need something a little more effective. This whole room is gonna keep coming after us.
We should leave.
Can you see its source?
Is there
there is not really a distinguishable
It's-
source. It
it's
seems to be
the
a
whole room?
lot of things.
The whole room. Like all of it. I'm gesturing to all of it.
Let's get outside
Okay,
before more come.
Let's burn it down.
Let's get outside. So this would be sure to be the last one out.
So you're just all just bolting outside, or
I'm hoping so.
okay.
Quilby? Sorry, Quimby. Psh. Right. And then she slams the door shut behind her.
I say, wait, no. I want to see if it's still going when we step outside.
Celes just lets go of the door. It's pulled.
So you're just gonna like stay outside and just peek a bit in.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna stand. I push Celes aside. Get out of my way. And, and I'm just,
Oh god.
I'm just like glaring at the bookshelf to see if it's still rattling.
Yeah, you can like, and you a couple seconds after, and you can see like a couple books just slowly pull themselves out of the bookshelf, and in other places also slowly just pull themselves out, and there's more of them on the floor. They're just slowly trying to rise up a bit, and you can definitely hear from, like, you cannot see, but you can hear from the right side, either the armor itself or stuff inside the armor is just slowly clanking at it and really making a lot of noise. And you get the idea that even after you step out, it's probably not safe.
Close the door.
All right, you close the door.
And I'm kind of stand with my back to it, just waiting for like the the door to start. Like, I'm like almost braced against it, you know, like
Pile of
my shell up against the door.
Perhaps
Oh, you're gonna
locking the
lock
door would be a good idea before it comes alive too.
Green, I don't think those books can open doors.
I didn't think they could fly moments ago.
But they don't have opposable thumbs.
And as you hear that, you kind of hear like one
That
dot
suit of armor
against the
does.
inside of the door.
But maybe the key is magical. So I lock the door to see if that likes. Because I'm.
And you can hear a second thud against the door as if something's just like thrown against it from the inside.
It's not the key.
And you hear a third thing just being thrown at it. And the fourth and the fifth.
Is the door looking like
Probably.
it's gonna hold?
I mean, they're just books.
There's a suit of
Well, it
armor in
didn't-
there.
It didn't give yet, so
It's just books. They have fangs.
paper fangs.
They could bite the door down eventually. But that suit of armor might do the trick.
So yeah, you occasionally, and still going on here. Some impacts against the door.
What do you want to do about this?
I don't know.
Let somebody else find it. Yo, I'm like way over on them.
See you, suckers.
Let somebody else open this door and find out.
If they bust down the doors, someone else could get injured as well. I'm worried.
But we won't be here, and it's okay.
But children might. This may be the docks, but this is a town/city where there are lots of people that wander
Well, that's
through.
why I locked the door.
So now you lock the door. Okay.
No, I did lock it
Oh,
to see if that was like, would stop. If that was the trigger.
Okay.
Hey, hang on. You are employed by the guild, right?
Yeah, by the hand, yes.
But you are looking for someone from the
guides.
from the guys.
Yes.
Aren't like their officials here?
Well, the officials or guards, so to speak, of around this town are basically contractors by the hand.
Celes says, I didn't ask Aaron what happened to the other members that were hired by the hand.
You can hear a heavier thud against the door.
That searched the docks, because I wonder if they experienced the same thing.
I nod my head. I said, "You should go tell them." I think I can go tell them. I don't know how to get back, but I can go tell them.
This is very strange. I don't really want... Let's back away and see if it busts out by itself.
Another heavy thud against the door.
Celes starts
Yeah, Giya will back up
backing off.
10 feet.
Yeah, Quilby will climb on the lumber on the bell on the well.
Do you just guys gonna keep listening and observing whatever happens?
At the moment, we're hoping that they'll just stop at trying to get out, but I mean, we don't know. Is there something that I might know about these magics myself? Being there are some magic casters in our group, so.
Has anybody got fire? Do you have a way to make? Anybody got any fire starters or tinder boxes or anything like that?
Yes.
So you just keep listening for a while, and you can hear small impacts and occasionally a very noticeable larger impact.
Thud.
But after a couple minutes, a couple more minutes, eventually it dies down.
Right.
And you can't hear any more impacts.
Okay. Well, that was a new experience for me. I've heard of having knowledge used against oneself, but not having it actually animated. So, I wanted to investigate in there to see if we could find out what happened to our target furnace, but I think perhaps we might know. Though you would think that there would be a body in there if he was still dead.
Maybe this was a trap left for him, but he never even made it to this trap. But then who else triggered it?
Well, there were other hand members that investigated the docks.
Oh,
we didn't see their bodies
Aaron
either, though.
didn't. Although Aaron said he wasn't the one that looked at this, but you'd think he would have mentioned this.
Unless they didn't
from
tell
what
him.
from what you remember, as you've talked to Aaron, he and the guards involved created a report about the findings in the docks on the warehouse. And well, Aaron didn't mention any unnatural things, so
Okay.
but like you didn't ask, I suppose.
Well, I didn't think I'd have to ask him, are there any supernatural things going on? Any animated books?
Maybe we should go check out his house.
Come
Come back to this
I
if
realize
we
this
need to.
place is locked, but we should probably let someone else know that there is danger at this place. The warehouse facing the well in the docks district.
Well, like, you can look around. You don't really see anyone else
Right, I think.
being visible from your vantage point right now.
So Celes asks Giya, "Did you find any other doors that were open, or any other warehouses, people, anything like that nearby?
No, but I didn't go through all the doors.
Any that you did not?
I pointed this one over here.
All right, let's just check to make sure that nobody's inside. We don't want anybody else getting hurt by this place." And she says to Sarren, "You said that you thought you heard somebody earlier in the other place. Is it possible that maybe they went out the back door and were startled by intruders?"
Well, when we checked that back door earlier, it was locked, so I don't know.
All right, well, let's check this warehouse first, and then we can go see if that door's still locked. And then she moves over to this door here and just checks to see if it's locked.
Are all your docks like this? In all the cities?
Dogs?
Docks.
Docks. No. She just leaves it.
Dangerous.
I trundle over with the key as well.
So you're gonna try open this door?
I'm going to see if it is unlocked.
It is not unlocked. It is locked.
Okay, she says. Can you check to see if the key to the key actually fits this door? It's possible it could unlock multiple buildings.
I try the key.
As it was the case with the back door over here, it does go in, but it doesn't turn.
Okay. Nope.
So she knocks. Says, "Hello, anybody inside?"
No response.
Okay. Says, "All right, well, let's go check to see if that other door is unlocked. If it is, then I fear that there might be somebody else wandering around that could be injured." She proceeds to head on over here and go over to this door that was previously locked to check it.
So you get over there and try to open the door, and it opens.
Oh dear. It would appear that somebody is on the docks at this current time. It's very unsafe.
Giya, being thoroughly suspicious by this point, is just gonna kind of follow you, and then when she sees that the door opens, she's just gonna kind of bust a move in and start searching around for any sign of who owns this, or occupies this warehouse, or what activities going on.
So you enter this building, Giya, and you see like a sack there, kind of like torn open, and a couple apples have rolled out. To the left of you, you can see an open crate, though there's not really anything in it from just a glance.
Okay.
And the back side of the room, there's more crates, and to the side of you is also a crate. And there is an open door at the end of the room.
Okay. You hear Giya looks at the apples, and you hear her belly grumble. Big She kind of looks at them longingly.
Right, I forgot we didn't get you anything to eat. I'm sorry.
And so wait, so there's one open crate and the rest of them are closed, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She has a look in the open crate.
So you look into the open crate and kind of like push the lid a bit away. It is actually empty.
Okay. The ones that are closed, do they look like they're like nailed shut, or?
They look like they've like if it's somewhat secured to like not easily open.
Okay.
Like you kind of get the idea with enough force you can make them be open. Yeah.
Okay. Then considering that, she kind of wanders through to the other room.
All right. So as you like just wander into the room, you can see a table in front of you, just empty cups, somewhat disarranged chairs standing around. On the far side of the room, you can see a smaller table and a chair, as well as an empty cup and a chest. There's also some paperwork on the table.
Okay. I will read the paperwork.
All right, so you take a look at it, and it looks like a map, a poorly drawn one, and Sarren steps into you.
Yeah, I just sit down in the chair.
Oh, sure. It looks like a poorly drawn one. You can make out some icon that says in pretty bad, like pretty badly written Benares next to it, and looking at it a bit closer, you can see upwards a bit. There is like some like little castle-ish icon, and there is like fort and some gibberish written below it. A bit downwards, you can find another icon and says like Mudrun, and a bit to the right of the fort, you have another icon and it says Galea. And then there is like some markings on it, just like some lines going through, and you very distinctively see a red line going from Benares to Galea and then to the fort. Or
Am I familiar with Galea?
Would it be history? Like just remembering something? I guess it would just be wisdom. Huh?
Usually it's just an intelligence check to recall information.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Damn it. Yeah, intelligence check. Yeah, you've heard of it. Like just traveling around and especially hearing the costs near the fort and the general northern side of here. You've definitely heard that name.
Okay.
It is a smaller town that is somewhat to the north of here.
Okay. So and there's a red line from Benares to Galea, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a red line going on from Galea to a fort and seemingly just a bit further. But yeah.
Okay. And is that the only paper?
It seems like it. There is some blank papers that are just like that are lying a bit further away from it. So but yeah, that's pretty much stuff that's there.
Okay. I say
Bless you.
bless you. I say to Sarren, this is a bit weird for a warehouse, don't you think? Who has their tea in a warehouse?
You're asking
Is it
Sarren.
actually tea?
She's like
I thought they were empty.
probably only seen tea before, not even warehouse.
I just look around. I said, "It's tea." I mean, I pick up a cup and I sniff it. I said, "It's not very good."
You don't really pick up any particular taste.
But why would you have chairs? Warehouses are for storing stuff, not having a cup of tea.
I shrugged my shoulders. Maybe they wanted something secret. And there's a lot of markings on this map. Maybe they're going to these places. Maybe that's where the guy we're looking for. Maybe that's where he's at. Maybe they took him.
Is this chest here?
There is a chest there.
Okay.
or what looks to be like one.
So this doesn't seem right.
I didn't get to check it before Celes came in and yelled at me and told me we had to.
Which
But I got some apples in my pouch, and I pat my pouch.
Oh, I saw those. They
Get
look
some
good.
more for you later before we leave. Just make sure Celes isn't looking.
Which Celes is currently looking up and down and around out here for the possible other person she thinks might be wandering around the docks. Probably going over to these open doors and looking in there, calling for people and listening for any movement or anything like that, and just in general worried about other people's safety.
I'll get back to that.
Okay.
But I want to follow the chest smashing trail.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, then I'm assuming it's locked. If it's gonna be a chest smashing trail. I'm checking the chest out. Does it
Yeah, it doesn't open.
okay. Does it have a big ass padlock on the outside or
Yet.
Well, it has a it is reinforced, like it is wooden in itself, and there's like 3 reinforcements around it that seem to be metal, and the one in the center of it has a lock on it.
maybe Quilby can earn some side earnings?
A side job.
Do you think
his
he's
sides
any
look
good with
thin.
this?
His side looks thin. He said he needed stuff on the side, so maybe he can,
Yeah, maybe this is stuff on the side. I wonder if he's any good with this. Celes doesn't. I don't think Celes would want to help.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'll go get him. I'll run out here and get. Hey, Quilby, come in here. Where's Celes?
You can hear her
Yeah,
calling for somebody in this other warehouse next door. Probably.
We have something to fill out your sides. Come with me.
What?
Dear God.
I just run away. Just run back into the warehouse.
You any good with these things?
What do you mean over?
You any good with these things? And I point at the lock.
I'm just doing. Nope. I'm not doing this.
Huh.
Oh, I guess it's just me and you.
Do you have anything we could wedge it open with?
Oh,
Yeah, Quilby got like slightly like think of realization, and was ready. No, don't do it. Stop. You.
Celes?
I'm pointing towards kashcah's character, Giya. What are you? What are you trying to do?
I want to open it.
there's things to fill your sides in it.
Probably.
Jeez.
Celes,
Yes?
as you're like keeping an eye out and just like checking places, you see 2 human males just walking by, and they both have short swords at the side of them, and are equipped in chainmail. So
Do they appear like they might be the city guard?
they generally they just look around and keep one hand at their weapon, so they seem like they are, yeah.
Celes would try to get their attention and approach them.
All right. So they are as you approach them, they just glance over, and you basically conveying the intent. They just stop in their path and go towards you.
And she says, "Yes, I need your assistance. Are either of you or both of you with the City Watch?"
And one of them goes yes. How can we? What's going on?
She says, "I'm Celes I'm working for the Hand right now. We were sent down here to investigate a disappearance of one of the guides. and we came across the warehouse where he was seen before his disappearance. Inside
Okay.
there are several magically animated pieces of furniture that seem to attack anyone who approaches. I fear that it is a danger to anyone that might come by. We relocked the door, and it seems to temporarily being holding the animated things at bay. And she
And
just
you just like gives you this really suspicious look, like, are you sure?
says, "Yes, I am sure." And she actually looks like she's being very firm about it. She says, "I do not kid when it comes to someone's safety."
All right. And one of them. So which one then? Oh
Uh,
God.
Sorry.
And she says, "Follow me. It's down here." She says, "We've locked
Just
the."
beating it with my quarterstaff. Don't mind me.
She takes him over here, and she's like, "We've locked the door currently, and I can get the key if you need it. But the books and I believe the suit of armor as well became animated and were attacking us."
And they both just look at themselves, look at each other, and be like, one of them just does a sigh and says, "All right. So, what do you expect us to do now?"
You're all right with a warehouse that spouts books that attack people just existing within your city.
Then there's just a short period of silence, and one of them goes, "Well, I don't hear anything."
Says, "I could get the key like I suggested if you care to check it out further."
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
And she says, "Luna, do me a favor and see if you can go find the others and get the key for me to this door."
Ooh.
And she says, "It'll be just a moment."
Ooh.
And sends Luna on her way to try and nab the key from Giya.
All right. So you're Oh God, what are you doing to this chest?
She's quarterstaff strengthening it.
Oh boy. So it all takes off and takes a quick pass around and, well, doesn't really see anyone, so it's just flying a bit lower and eventually glancing through the door next to the card. She makes out the shape of Giya and flies in and onto her shoulder. And is like,
Oh, I thought you were Celes. Oh, okay.
She starts like, like climbing along you, and then like kind of like trying to
Right.
peck at like
What do you want?
where you've got the keys currently.
I ask it. I'm like, hey, what? I asked the owl's name, and I'm like, where's Celes? I can speak to the owl, so it's fine.
She's like clawing and beaking at where you keep whatever have the keys.
So I think she wants your keys. Celes sent her for your keys. And I just tell the owl, said, tell Celes everything's okay in here.
I fish the keys out, give them to the owl.
Owl just takes the one key and then flies off.
All right. And takes off and quickly returns to your shoulder.
And Celes just kind of holds her hand up and grabs the key, and Luna lands on her and climbs up on her shoulder where she was before. Then she opens the door and says, "Now, last time when we entered to investigate, a few moments later, some of the debris came alive and started attacking us. If you need to reenact it, so be it." And she opens the door and pushes it open.
All right. As you unlock the door and open the door, you are greeted with even more of a disaster in there. The armored statue is like, as you look into and just look to the sides and so on, the first thing you notice is the armored statue is just like broken in pieces and just like has dents and like bent in places. And the floor is littered with books. You just occasionally see a couple splinters on the ground, and there's just almost one layer of books, and the bookshelf on the far side is almost empty. So, yeah,
And the suit of
it's a
armor is in what
disaster.
state?
Hmm?
What is the suit of armor? What state is it in?
It is kind of like broken into pieces, and yeah, just I think you're persuading the chest.
What are you guys even doing?
We're trying to open it nicely.
In a second. And it's just like broken in pieces, and it's like the armored arm or hand part is lying a bit further away, and just like bent in places as if stuff is just flown into it, and the sword is lying across the ground, and it's a mess.
Okay. And she just kind of motions in there and says, it's obviously a lot messier than it was when we first went in. But apparently the entire room itself is under some enchantment to animate objects.
Yeah, and
Did they enter, or are they
guard.
waiting for her to enter?
well, the guards are just like looking there, inspecting, like just looking into the room. They're like, well, I've
She-
seen
She walks in.
more orderly places, and you're just like stepping in on top of the books, and just like
Yep.
it's not really a solid ground. It's just like giving in places, and you just have to.
She's just kind of kicking it aside as best she can as she goes.
And one of them goes like, "Well, I've seen more orderly places."
Says, as have I.
So, and they just like look at each other and just like aren't really sure what they're supposed to like think of this. So
And she proceeds to go back to where she was before. She walked over here. She checks out the bookcase and starts like, you know, kind of repeating what she did before, expecting it to happen in the same way.
Yeah, they are just staring at you, going at it at the bookshelf.
And she goes over to the statue and says, I swear, wasn't it? Well, Giya was looking inside, and she lifts up the visor and tries looking inside.
Well, the armor statue is no longer in one piece.
Oh, right.
So
It's in
just,
pieces
like,
of the.
scattered across the ground. Sorry.
And she goes, all right, well, it would appear there aren't any objects left in here to really animate. All right.
And one of them goes like, right.
Says,
Are
well,
you sure you are? Well, sure you can handle this yourself? Or do you need... And there is just looking again through the room.
She says, thank you
further
for your
answers.
assistance.
Right. And they're just like awkwardly, just like still looking into it, and it's like just slowly backing away, turning away from the corner you've like dragged them through.
Yep. And she just kind of like leans against the wall, waits for them to, as they leave, she leans against the wall, puts her head in her hand, and just goes, oh, that was embarrassing. And then says, let's go, Luna. Let's see what kind of trouble the others have gotten up to, and then perhaps we can do a better, thorough search of this area, seeing as how it's... Exactly. Alright. There you go.
Alright. You're gonna close and lock again, or...?
Gonna close the door, gonna lock it. Hold on to the key.
Alright, time to the persuasion chest action.
Just persuasion.
Please open. Please
So
open
what
so
are
I
you
don't have to smash you.
What
Don't
are
you leave this alone?
What are you gonna do to the chest?
I say, if you're not going to be helpful, I don't need your advice.
To To the chest? Or...
No, to Quilby, who said telling me to leave it alone. No. Giya says.
Okay.
I'm just laying across on this table on my back, like I've been trying and it won't open.
Have you smacked it with your quarterstaff? Or...
I smacked it several times.
Yeah, like you felt like the wood part of it give up like a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty sturdy.
I say, hey, Sarren. Oh, I'm gonna try picking it up.
So you're just gonna lift it off the ground?
I'm gonna try.
Nice.
Yeah, give me a strength check. No. You try, and you're just like trying to get a hold on it left and right, and it's like trying your best and lifting it up, and yeah, it won't really budge.
Okay, I'm gonna try dragging it out of the corner then.
Sure, give me another strength check. Have at it. No. It is firmly in place. And like you're gonna try to get a hold of it on one side or from the other side and try to push a bit, and
Okay,
it is there.
it's time for the mall.
the true key.
Oh my god.
God.
Poor little thing.
I'm gonna
Poor
try and smash it.
Alright.
So much
Roll
trouble.
attack.
So much trouble. That's a hit.
Well,
I'm guessing.
well, that definitely hits the chest here. And yep, you
Ooh.
will do a number on it. You can like definitely see the impact of your maul on the iron reinforcements, and you will kind of like splinters a bit in places. But yeah, that's it. The chest took a hit.
Okay, so it's kind of broken it a bit, but not enough to open it.
Yeah, you get like you see a little bit on some of the wood. It took a little bit of damage, so you can see like a little bit of splinter just going through one of it. But yeah, it didn't cave in or something.
You see, like, Giya's eyes narrow, and she starts like,
Prey
A
identified.
worthy foe.
Oh.
this chest just
I just
pissed me
clap.
off.
I'm like, what more? You should have it.
Okay, I smack it again.
Oh yeah.
Just waiting
Why?
Well, that'll hit it.
for a raging chest smash.
Really mad.
Right. That hits it as well. And you can like see now it's like the middle one, the middle reinforcement really just gave in a bit. You can really like see where you hit it. And yeah, but that's pretty much it, unfortunately.
Remind me to buy a crowbar, I say. So, still not broken enough to see inside.
No. Get the idea. It's like still pretty firmly held in place. Sarren, are you proficient in Arcana? No, you're not. So yeah, pretty sturdy chest.
Alright, I'm gonna try one more time. Smacking it with the mop.
Well, sure.
So 6.
Takes the hit. Interestingly, it didn't seem like you've left more of an impact than last time.
It's a sturdy chest.
Can I use my detect magic? It's just a racial ability. That's just the disguise self thing. The description. I don't need that. I just put it in detect.
Hold on a second. Just looking up something. Second. Yeah, you get a vibe from that chest. So especially as you like it being hit after just after Giya drove her maul down on it. You can especially feel a very strong resounding feel of just abjuration magic.
Okay. I'm like, well, that explains a lot. It's got magic. It's probably locked with it. That's probably why you're not smashing through it. Just had this weird feeling. Well, I guess we're not getting into this thing.
Not with that kind of attitude.
I'm kind of just standing there glaring at the chest.
I can't get into anything with magic, so.
That is a chest.
I just kind of sigh.
Long before I would arrive.
I guess we should just sit here and stare at it.
I'm just still standing there staring at it.
Celes, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just kind of go and put my arms on the chair. Gonna watch the mayhem.
Through the general sounds of commotion going about, you occasionally hear a very hard impact. You're not sure where it comes from. It's just generally from this direction. But yeah.
I have no
And
idea.
you don't really know where the others are at the moment.
I'm sure Luna could probably direct me in the direction of where she went.
Ooh.
I grab an apple out of my pouch and I just hold it out. Here, have a rest.
That and, we last left everybody in here, so hearing noises come from there, Luna kind of tugging me in that direction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of,
Well, Luna would probably just tug you from the underside, because that's where she went in.
Yep.
Giya sits down, takes the apple, still glaring at the chest.
And guess who arrives? What on earth have you done to that chest?
Don't look at me, I've tried to stop them.
And she looks at you and she looks at them and says, somehow I doubt that.
Make an insight check.
Did you find any sign of anybody?
Still glaring at the chest.
We're just staring at the chest.
What is the matter? Is there someone inside?
Yes.
They want out. But it's magically locked.
I insight check the shit out of
that. You can contest with this.
Oh crap.
No.
Oh no. Let's come on.
Yes.
I've got -2.
Oh!
But that's a natural one. Isn't that
It's a skill check.
auto fail?
No, you don't.
Nice.
Well, actually, it's a new campaign. It's up to the DM if natural ones auto fail or not.
I'm just
Natural ones auto fail.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they you weren't really sure. You were away. You kind of thought something might be up, but you're not really sure. It might also just come from someone trying to get out of it somehow. And well, they're just sitting here Giya is eating an apple, so yeah.
So, have you tried getting it open?
It's magic.
Hmm.
It could be furnace. Because I think these people are related to that mess. And I'm pointing towards the other building.
Celes kind of like does one of these, and she says, well, I could try hacking at it for a bit, but if you say it's magic, I worry if it'll
I wouldn't
animate,
bother.
if you will.
I wouldn't bother trying to open it physically.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. But they do want out, whoever's in there.
And
Here, help me try and lift it.
okay,
I get back up again.
You're gonna make each a strength check, or is one gonna help the other?
I think we're probably about the same. So I've got inspiration. So why don't you help me?
Oh, sure. I'll help you.
Okay. Strength
All right.
check. I'm just
Strength check.
clicking on strength, right? Or is this an athletics check?
Well, since I gave the others strength as well, so
Okay, so it'll be
it's
strength.
general.
All right, strength. And it's a nat 20, so I won't even use that inspiration. It's probably going to expire by now anyway, so I'm going to take that
Nice.
off. Thank you for the inspiration.
Hey, you have been worried about my statistics and my rolls.
I've
What
rolled
I-
3
what I-
nat
what I
20s
do.
in this game so far. All right.
Yeah, jokes on me.
Right. So, you have been extra strong today.
Indeed.
Sorry.
You are lifting on this side of the chest,
Do you want to?
and it's like glued to the ground, so it's really not want to come off. And as you are just lifting with all your strength, you really see like just blue lines go across the chest and just go into the ground and just keep this chest held to the ground where it is. And so yeah, I guess you're just gonna lift it off the ground and just see as a couple of these blue threads begin to just snap and snap, and you
can see the
rip
two
it out
of
of the
us
ground.
just ripping it, and this little magic sparks shooting off of this thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, you've ripped the chest off the ground.
Let's take it with us.
Is there anything under where the chest was?
No,
Okay.
it's solid tiled floor.
So we've got it off the ground, and Celes says, that was a lot more difficult than I anticipated it to be.
I know, Furnace is a heavy guy.
I agree.
Hello in there! She's like kind of
No response.
maneuvering it and like trying to...
Actually, now that you're holding it, like, are you holding it together with Giya?
Yeah.
So right. Now that you're holding it, it feels light. Like, compared to what you've just lifted off the ground, now holding it between you and Giya, it's pretty light. And as like you're kind of holding it a bit higher, you look under it to like inspect the floor. You look up, and the floor of the chest is missing.
Damn it.
But there's nothing on the ground.
Nope.
Okay.
So
Is there anything in the chest? So I tried to turn it around so that the opening is up.
No.
I'll just
Seems
say,
like-
hold on, hold it up. I'll slide up under there. Stick my head in there.
Into the chest from below, like up it. All right,
Yes.
you do that. And you're looking around inside of a chest.
Oh, if Furnace is in here, he's really tiny.
That's what happens when you
I'm
get
like,
a bunch
Furnace?
of boys. Barbarian in a fighter try and open a magic box. What happens? So
You've successfully lifted a chest off the ground.
yep.
Or
So there's
something
nothing in
like
there?
a chest.
Nope. Nothing in here.
I thought you said Furnace was in here, or somebody at least.
Yeah, but apparently it wasn't Furnace, so it's kind of duck out from under it again.
So Celes just hangs on to it with one hand at this point, realizing it's very heavy, and she takes the little hand axe off her shoulder, and she tries to like just take a little notch off the corner of the of it to
Of
see
the
if it
chest?
still has a magical glow to it, or if it's still, or if it just starts cutting into the wood easily.
It cuts into the wood.
She says,
So if you just like take a swing with your hand axe,
just a little chop, no, not like
Yeah.
a big swing or anything.
yeah, you can like you feel cut into the wood,
Mhm.
and you think like, yeah, if you drive it down with a bit more force, you could probably chop off a corner of it.
She says, I don't think it's got its magic anymore.
You can smash it to pieces.
She says, let's set it down.
Wait, flip it upside down so that the opening is facing up.
Whoop.
Quilby, it's a carriage for you.
Oh God.
boy.
We could parade you round town.
She just drops it her hand at that point, going, "Oh God,
What
can
did I
hell
get
save
myself-
me?"
Oh.
And she says, "All right, here, let's put it back in place. I can fix this." And she tries flipping it back over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind?
Giya is going to kind of wander over to the table.
Okay. And she kneels down and tries to put the chest back in place where it was, and she starts casting mending.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the metal will just bend back into place, and splinters just slowly close, and it looks actually better off than it was before. Well, you didn't know how it was before, but like
Mm-hmm.
Sarren or anyone glancing over would realize like, hey, this actually looks less worn than before.
And she tries just picking the chest up to see if it's resealed itself to the ground or not.
Oh, you just try and pick it up again?
Just grabbing one end of it and trying to just see if it lifts up, because it's light.
Give me a strength check.
Okay. She just was seeing if there was resistance.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Hui.
Yeah, it lifts off the ground.
Okay. Same as before, feels, like it was light and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she puts it back
It
down.
is-
Says, well, at least nobody can tell that we smashed their stuff. How did you know that there was someone inside?
So Giya has got her she's got a book out and she's torn a page out of the back and she's currently writing on it. She's like leaning over the table writing on this paper. And she just kind of ignores your question. And after she's done writing the note, she kind of comes back over to the chest. And she will she kind of tries to wedge like the corner of the paper into like some slot on the chest. Like maybe it's like under part of the banding a little bit, or she just wants to make sure it doesn't like immediately fall off.
Yeah, you can just try to like slide it in between like the lid and stuff.
Okay.
Just like, yeah.
So she's not going to slide it all the way in there. She's just going to
Yeah,
slide
just-
like a little bit of it in. And the note says, sorry about your chest. We'll pay you for the damage. Meet us at the Broken Thorn.
And actually, Celes would say, "Brilliant, good idea."
I sneak off in the other room. And I start filling my pouch with apples.
Oh god.
And she says, "You know, the primary warehouse we came here for. I found some city guard while you were in here rescuing the chest, and I found that upon re-entering the warehouse next door, there were no more attackers. They had pretty much demolished themselves to the ground inside. And embarrassingly, I found this while showing 2 of the city watch. So, yes. Anyway, if we wanted to investigate further in that warehouse, I think it's probably pretty safe at this point.
I have bits of apple on me. I was like, I don't know about going back in there.
Yeah, Giya kind of narrows her eyes as well. Okay.
Celes, when you were inspecting the armor before, were you only inspecting the armor or books that were lying around as well?
I started with the books and then I went to the armor.
Oh, right. Like previously you looked at the books, like in the first time in there, and you kind of like, they were all at least like had stuff written on them, just like imagery and small pictograms and instructions or stuff. When you looked at them again, all of them were blank.
Okay.
Every little book that you opened that was just lying on the ground or still in the bookshelf was blank.
Okay. All right. Says, well, at least I would appreciate it. I would like to head over there and do a further investigation just to make sure there was nothing missed. I didn't exactly spend any time in there once I embarrassed myself in front of the city guard. So I'm going to go check that out. I'll meet you over there. She's kind of like looking at the rest of them.
Yeah, Giya's gonna follow right after you.
Okay.
Wait for me.
Kind of sigh. Okay. I'll throw Giya another apple. Like, here.
She eats it right away.
The whole thing. One chomp.
Maybe.
And upon arriving, she says, Luna, do me a favor. See if there's anything down that well. And
What? You cut out there?
she said, Luna, do me a favor and see if there's anything down that well. And Luna would fly over to the edge and look down while she goes inside.
Lady from the Grudge is down there. Shouldn't go down there.
Yeah. So yeah, she just peeks over the well and just hops a bit down into the bucket and just peeks further down. And then just hops up and just bats her wings and just slowly hovers down a bit. Just woo, woo. And you can just hear the echo of the who just coming out.
I use her vision to see what she's seeing.
It's dark down there.
She's got 120-foot dark vision.
Yep. And it's just descends and descends, and all the way down there is water.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
I look at the owl and I'm like, what did he expect you to find? I agree.
My old impressions on trying.
All right. So Luna returns, and she starts doing a thorough inspection of everything in the room that she can. Probably not finding much more, but
yeah. So it was as you've left it before with the guards. It is, well, you've pushed a few books aside, so it has like a little bit of clearing in the entrance. But it's just either torn or just spread open books with empty pages.
I take it there's marks on the door as well.
Yeah, you can see on the inside a couple like impacts and like little splinters on occasion, like fresh splinters, and yeah,
Okay.
the few broken and smashed crates that you can see still on the map are now even more smashed and in pieces.
I'm just kind of digging through the stuff. There's nothing of any note or.
So you're just like carefully just picking through it. You don't seem to find anything. It's just like a book, and then there's another book below it. Then there's a couple bits of rubble and page, and yeah.
Okay.
I walk in like real carefully, and I'm just gonna like look around and push this suit of armor over.
It's already
Again,
in pieces.
Yeah,
Was there-
the suit of armor is piece.
Yeah, everything in the room pretty much demolished itself.
Except the shelf.
Except the shelf.
The shelf is still standing there. There's a couple books in the shelf.
That are blank.
Probably.
I would like to check that out.
Sure. You take a book out and open it up, and yeah. Indeed, it is blank.
And the remaining ones as well. Just quick look, toss it, look, toss it.
Yeah. You
Did you
just like
found anything?
No.
You just pick it up and open it up, just like go through the pages, throw it away, pick up the next one,
Yeah,
go
pretty much
through
just
the
open,
pages.
fan it, pitch
Yeah.
it.
And yeah, it is. You don't see any contents.
Giya is going to pick up these empty books, these blank books, and pocket them.
All right. You've got empty curse book. No, just empty books.
They attach themselves to you.
How many do you pick up?
As many as
Like,
I can.
Well, they're all in a pretty shit state. So they've all just like either partially or completely torn pages. So if you want to like look for a bit more nicer ones, you might not find as many.
Okay. Yeah, I'd go for the nicer ones. Like, if it looks like it's going to fall apart, I'm not going to take it.
So you spend a bit of time and just going through, and you find like 4 that are still in pretty good condition.
Okay, cool. I will take those 4.
Sure.
And
Don't
I
throw away books like that.
there's nothing in them.
I know. That makes them even more useful.
I inspect the bookcase thoroughly to see if it is, movable, magical, has switches in it, hidden spots, anything like that.
From the books that were already out of there and the books you've thrown out, I would say there's probably not, if any, books left in it. So it's an empty shelf, and just giving it a glance from up and down, it doesn't seem like there is anything particularly special about it. It's a wooden shelf.
She looks a bit frustrated at this point.
Somebody had trapped the room, Giya says.
Yes, and somebody has also triggered the trap besides us.
Or it's been trapped twice.
I start looking through the rubble and the floor and the walls for any signs of blood.
I'm
gonna cast Detect Magic again, just to be sure.
Alright, first thing, I'm gonna need to get a investigation from Celes.
Okie dokie. Investigation.
Alright, so you just look through the rubble, just shove books aside, just throw them over. You're gonna try to look where previously there was already rubble there, and try to maybe find some stuff there. And you don't really see anything.
Okay.
Same as Quilby. You're also just, I guess you're joining in on looking through things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're also just digging through after Celes told you like what she's looking for. You don't really seem to find any traces of blood. Or
Okay.
yeah. And what was it? You cast detect magic.
Yep, I use my ability for detect magic. And when she does this, she kind of like puts her hands out and she touches her fingertips together and she starts like she's focusing and her whole body like starts shaking. And then
The entire room shakes. No.
Mine should still be on. I think it lasts for an hour.
Yeah, that's for a while, right? Well, regardless, between you two, you don't pick up anything.
Okay.
So there's nothing that's standing out.
Maybe we should set a watch. Try to catch these people that are trapping this warehouse.
Maybe we do a stakeout here. That's not a bad idea. But then again, we also haven't checked out the primary home either.
Okay, we can come back to this.
I could ask Luna here to keep an eye out while we go.
Ooh. And she just like hops off your shoulder and just steps on to just like some books and scratches a bit. Just flies over to another book.
Why don't we do that? Luna, would you mind keeping an eye on these few warehouses here, and if you see anybody enter this one or that one, you know, give me the usual feeling that you do.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, that one.
Ooh.
Actually,
You get the sense that like, yeah.
Okay. Can't remember how far away she can do that. Okay, I can only communicate within 100 feet telepathically.
I was like,
Yeah,
I thought it was
it's probably gonna be a bit too far.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can tell her to like fly to like she doesn't know where you are.
we'll
Not
come
as
back
easy.
for you later, Luna. We promise. Just going out to get cigarettes.
The books aren't gonna bite you.
Well, why don't you stay here? Keep an eye in this area. If you see anybody enter either of these warehouses, then come fly up to the north and find us in the White Hall district or something. I'm sure she'd be able to see us in the sky.
Oh, you mean the upper reaches?
Yeah, where the
It's the high bridge.
there we go.
I mean, if we're inside, though,
Yeah, that's probably not gonna work out.
how's she gonna find us?
Well, she'll be within 100 feet by then. If she gets close enough to the buildings, she'd be able to find me then. Anyway.
Well, you can just say like do a circle around the building until something pops up. So yeah, she can do that.
How's that? Why don't we leave her for a watch here, and if she hasn't found anything by the time we're finished searching to the north, I can come back and get her.
Goodbye, Luna. It was nice knowing you.
Or better yet, I can just dismiss her to my side. So.
All right. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, Luna will just like hop around the books and just slowly make her way outside. And well, I can't really like make her sit up on top of the building, but she's just gonna like hop around the ceilings and yeah.
There you go, she'll right there on top of the well.
No, it fits so
Definitely not obvious. Big ass
Yeah.
owl sitting looking at the door.
Yep. Not obvious.
Not at all.
So yeah.
All right. So, shall we head to the north then and check out the primary residence? The house?
Sure.
Shall we not? I mean,
No, yeah.
yeah. Right.
Giya is
Fine,
fine with
fine. Onward.
All right. Then I think that's probably a good time to end it for today.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hellfire.
Thank you. Thank you for putting up with this knowledge. Knowledge fights back.
And again, I am going to say thanks to Stephen Nickel of stevesketches.artstation.com for the borrow of the there we go, nice and clear, of the avatar for Hellfire. And thank you,
Yes.
players. Thank you, DM.
The link once more.
Yeah. And thank you, viewers, for coming to visit us. And we should be live again next Sunday, barring any kind of national emergency. So,
Lockdown now includes you're not allowed to use your internet.
yeah, who knows?
And the whole world revolts.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
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 Bye.